the I'm a Fan of podcast, music, comedy, and more.
Paulos, Chris, For the City.
How's it going?
It's For the City comedy or For the City?
For the City.
Okay, I've always just seen the FTC. I've never seen the additional C, but I get it.
The second C didn't work up
Second
top.
C,
so
I understand.
We
FTC?
clarify.
No.
Sub-headline, we
FTC.
got it.
Well, welcome, man.
Are we started?
Yeah, we're started.
Okay. Well,
Do you want to start over?
No.
We have a
We have a thing that we wanted to do because, like, I went back and looked at the episode with just you and me.
Okay.
And I remember telling you I had a shot before I came in.
Oh, God.
And you were like, "Oh, you could have just." And I did.
I've also listened to some episodes where you're like, I love when people bring in beer.
You know
or
what?
something.
I feel like such an asshole. I literally just stopped drinking.
Well,
Well,
he'll do both of those.
Yeah.
That's not an
But I mean,
issue.
listen,
you can
thank
give it
you.
back to me.
The
You can give it
gesture
back to
is
me.
amazing.
You can give it back.
Literally, like,
We're for the city. You live in the city. That's
two,
it.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I changed my diet trying to lose weight.
And
a big part of it is alcohol.
whoever's looking
so
at
sorry.
this,
Such a
I
good-
literally went out
so
of my way
sorry.
to make sure he did not see me bring this in. But yeah, I mean, you
Well,
don't have to have it, but
Can I
we
at least
want-
cheers?
Yes,
with it?
yes,
Is that
yes, yes.
lame?
Yes.
Okay,
No,
sorry.
no,
Thank you.
no.
Thank you.
Dude, actually, it's dope. It's punk rock that you stopped drinking. So yeah,
I don't want to stop drinking. My body's betraying me slowly.
Then it's real. That's real.
Yeah.
If you can admit you still want to do it.
I want to so bad.
then
I
you're
stopped
real.
all the fun stuff. I stopped alcohol. I stopped sugar. I stopped as many carbs as I can try to not eat. And life is gray and bleak now. But I'm going to try to be
don't do
healthier.
that to yourself.
Going to try to be healthier
Don't do that.
The light will come back into your life eventually.
someday.
we
You'll
are
find
sponsored by
pornography or
Telemer,
something.
dude. Just heads up.
There we go.
everybody.
Send the check. Send the check.
Send the check, please.
No, talk to me about the production company, though, man.
Sure.
Because this has been happening for a
We're
couple
on
of
our
years now.
third year.
Third year.
Third year, which seems, like we just got started yesterday.
Yeah, every day feels like that. So
I've only produced a few things, and now when I see people producing other things, I really am curious as to the why, because it's so hard. It's
You've
so
produced-
difficult, and it's so thankless.
you've produced some pretty big things.
Some minor
Few
things,
things.
couple minor things. We got one coming up that I think is pretty fun, but I want to talk about y'all's things. But
Sure,
but point being, like, it's really hard to put stuff together. Nobody cares about your project as much as you do, and you feel like even though like the people you work with say thank you, you just wonder if people really know how much effort went into it. So like, why do you even want to go through all that headache?
We do it really for us. Like
Yeah.
we've been doing this for a long time, and it's really just like to air out our grievances about the scene, and then like, oh shit, now we got to do it for ourselves. Let's at least try to do it right by us. So like that's the bar and the standard we're trying to meet. Is like, do we like it? You know what I mean? Does it live up to our original vision? Other than that, it's like
Also,
whatever
especially now when we got a check, like not only a check, but a check from the city, and they were just like, "Okay, go." It's like,
Was that in the form of a grant? Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Wow.
I should specify. Yes.
Awesome.
We were given
City
a
of
grant
Dallas?
by the arts. I forget the name. How do you the arts?
I never. So
You
there,
can't forget who gives you the
Dallas
money.
Arts and something.
There is a grant, and then it trickles down to the cultural centers,
Yes.
which then go to us. But yeah, it is a pretty big deal for performing arts budget from a city to go to stand up. So we're pretty honored to have.
Yeah.
It's the first I've heard. Are y'all the first to receive?
Somebody
believe.
told us that they were looking into doing an article, and they were like, "I don't think I've ever heard of
Yeah.
that." I hadn't either.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
How do you get a grant like that? What do you have to prove, or what do you have to?
So
How do you
I-
convince them you're worth some money?
I to this day produce, or I am the comedy consultant for Amphibian Stage Productions in Fort Worth, and I was very lucky to pre-pandemic have somebody like Andrea Totson, who has been a lifelong person who worked in the city of Dallas. And she would come out to all of our shows because we had all these cool big names come out. And she reached out and was like, "Hey, I'd like to work with you, and I would like for you to do something equivalent to what you do at Amphibian Stage, but just closer to home. Can we do a cool comedy show but not have to go to Fort Worth?" And I was like, "Got you." And then this was in April of 2023.
Oh, you can't check me for dates.
Yeah.
Wrong guy.
Like that was a day.
Yeah, sure.
Our first year was 2024. So yeah, so early. It was like in April of 2023, And then I waited until, I think we looked it up. It was like August of 2024. I hit up Chris, because I've been working with Chris for 12 years in producing shows, or he records the shows, or he does the design for the show. Like, Chris has been my better half when it comes to things I cannot work on, because I am booking the show, I am on the show, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, hey, I have this cool opportunity. Excuse me. And I don't want to tell your story.
I was about to bust it like specific. So I had just got canned from like some other marketing job that I've been doing. It's like working in tech, you get
I was going to say, that seems pretty common for that industry, right?
Working for huge tech companies, you get cut. And I'm sitting in a hammock in my backyard, just like kind of like the existential like dread had just started to sink in. I'd been like unemployed for like maybe 24 hours. And I get a phone call from Paulos, and I'd normally screen that, but with my schedule wide open, I was like, sure, why not? And I'm in a hammock. And then he hit me up, and he kind of had this like panic in his voice of like, hey, you know, like how we've been talking about like doing some like bigger shit, like more legit. He's like, it kind of showed up on my doorstep, and I need your help like making it a legit thing. And I was like, well, buddy, the timing is perfect. I have nothing but free time right now.
That sounds like the start of like a 90s movie, like American Pie. That
it does,
like,
right?
I'm in my hammock. I just lost my job.
Yep.
Like, and my buddy calls me up.
It's the black guy
like
calling
destiny.
the white guy.
I've got an idea. Yeah.
No. But it literally was. And like when he told me that, I've known Chris at this point, I don't know, 13 years.
Yeah,
now?
we keep saying like 12 or 13, but it's probably, I mean, it might be.
By the end of the episode, it'll be like, I've known him for 37 years.
37 years. See how it went up once I heard you say no. But no, I've known him for so long, but he and I are like true collaborators. Like, okay, let me give you an example. Like when I first met Chris, he had a homie that I'd been doing comedy with. And I had my like comedy homies, and he came out like as a fan, but we were like open micers, like we didn't deserve fans, right? Like, but Chris and his homie were like, oh, we like you guys, and we were like, well, we like you guys, and like we all started hanging out, but specifically me and Chris, and like these are like comics that people know, like Tyler Simpson, Lauren Davis, Andrew, blah blah blah, whatever, it doesn't matter. But when we all like congregated and hung out, like Chris and I would be talking about like, hey, what's the future of Dallas comedy? Like, what can we do to like help make an impression? And like people we would all love this group of people, but people would like slowly walk away from the conversation, and it would just be me and Chris still talking about that until we got to a point where now we're running shows together. So like it's beautiful. Like
Long time coming, huh?
Yeah.
You talked earlier about like your grievances with what was going on. So you don't have to mention names of like shows or things, but what was bothering you?
Yeah, you can.
If you want to, just know I'm not editing anything. All right?
These were, I'll be ambiguous, but for me, it was really more like adopted grievances. So me and my buddy Drew, who's our mutual friend, who actually started doing stand-up, we are from Montana. And we had moved to Dallas, which is a much bigger market, obviously. There's no comedy in Montana, at least where we're from, very rural. And so my buddy Drew, started doing comedy. All the people we just mentioned are the first night we went out at Hyenas. We saw these like 6 or 7 people, and we were like, that's who I want to be our friends. And then by week 2, they were. And so watching them going, just, I was doing the open mics with my buddy Drew, just going out every week, seeing them. And then over the years, watching them like get to the level where they're like, oh, I'm producing my own bar show. Like I'm starting to do a weekend and stuff. They just kind of hit a plateau, and then just hitting that level in their careers, I would hear their grievances about like how the clubs were treating them, or like the politics of like getting on. Like, like a DCH back then, it was like you really don't get stage time until you do their programs,
right?
Which is fine. That's their business model.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would just hear all those grievances, and I'd be like, yeah, it would be a lot better. Coming from a market with no rules and no scene, I was like, yeah, there's a lot of politics for like, and no disrespect to Dallas, like a mid-market scene. Like it should be a lot more Wild West, like fun indie, like
because you still have you have more opportunity than what you have to lose.
Yeah,
So
and
you should be getting a little loose with it as often as you can.
We're racing to get to this middle to me that it thought it was like you work really hard and you get good, and then it's like, oh, you would open at Addison Improv for a weekend once every 3 months, and then they
I do want to just like I and like all of our friend group, we're also racing to get to that middle.
Yes.
But once we got there, we were just like, oh, this isn't cool. Like this is not what
like
we
there's
wanna
not
do.
something I can do every weekend now
Yeah.
that I hit this plateau of like opening. Like you think like, you know, like Justin opened for like and played with Rory Scovel, and it was like, you know, normally in a bigger scene that would kind of like catapult him a little bit, and he'd like, but then there's only so many clubs and shows. It was like, again, a race to this middle, and then they kind of all are like hitting a brick wall. It felt like to me as an outsider.
Yeah.
And so those were my adopted grievances of like, there should be more shows and like weird shows and like shows with weird themes, and you know, like that was my personal thing of like an outsider looking at the scene, like so many funny people in this town. You have no idea, you're spoiled. I'm from a town where no comedy happens, and I have 35 talented friends. Like there should be at least one more night a week.
Yeah.
I also want to throw in for anybody who like listens to this and like comments whatever weird thing, like if you're like, well, I've never seen that guy do comedy, this is the funniest guy that I know who's never been on stage. However, he has helped us produce stuff like Breaking Bad, the ballet.
Also did a lot for SVU, the musical.
Yes, I was going to say that, SVUsical, which sold out every weekend for 10 weeks.
Where was that at?
At Dallas Comedy House.
Okay.
That was the first one that they let me, Dallas Comedy House, let me do
loose.
all the promo. I'd been doing posters and stuff for like homie shows. Kind of got in with Amanda and them, and they were like, okay, we have a big show. And I was like, well, then let me do the promo big. So I did it like real big.
What's
and
the
real
other show that we
proper.
did that sold out 3 times in a row? Where's Your
We
Dad?
did How's Your Dad, which
How's
is
Your
a
Dad? How's Your
sick
Dad?
variety show. And that's kind of like what I
every
wanted.
weekend
Yeah.
sold out. Like this guy has an eye for marketing. Like I need to always big him up because people are like, when have you ever been on stage? I don't care. He knows the backdrop of like what we're trying to produce.
Well, as someone who's also never been on a comedy stage, I get it. Like,
Well, we were actually
you know,
talking about that
I
earlier.
enjoy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoy. You know, I could go do an open mic. You know,
we were bragging about you earlier. Like you.
Oh, please, thank you. No,
Yeah, no. Like I think that you're a part of the reason that Lawrence Rosales sold out his show.
I hope so.
Well,
I mean,
you,
Lawrence,
you were promoting the shit out of them. Of
You're a
course, yeah.
supporter. I
Yeah.
think we live in a similar like ancillary to comedy, like love it involved but not performers. We do everything but perform.
And that's not a knock on Lawrence. I love Lawrence. Like me and Lawrence just hung out recently. Like
It's
Well-
a knock on Lawrence. He's
No,
like,
it's
so.
not.
well, I think we're all kind of in a similar lane, which is I've said it on here a bunch, but my thought process, similar to what you're talking about, the race to the middle. I've never thought of it that way, but it's a very good way. I've just always felt like there are rungs on the ladder that are missing to get from this scene
Yes.
to something bigger.
Yes.
And you know, it's going to take more than a handful of people who don't have the selfish performance in mind as well to go, hey, I just enjoy this and I have a knack for XYZ, whatever that may be. Maybe it's your maybe you're the person who can get these people great headshots. Maybe you're the one who can record things for them. You know what I'm saying?
Posters, promo. Yeah.
I think, to me, never being in the LA scene or the New York scene, so I don't really know, but it feels like we're just missing that infrastructure for the people that are here who we know are funny, but they're going like, I know I'm funny, and when I'm in front of a crowd, they laugh, but I don't know what the next step is. Hopefully someone picks me out of the crowd.
There's gray area. Like you said, like Chicago, LA, New York, very much micro steps on the ladder and clubs you have to go to and earn. And then if you want to be a little more indie, there's like a whole scene for that if you want to be more traditional. And I thought, man, we have all of that talent, but none of the structure to give them their lanes, their nights, their opportunities. That was my outsider looking in grievance with the scene.
One of the like biggest, and I love working with Chris. Chris is like the big homie, younger brother. Like he knows like how to help. He knows where to position himself, how to help people. But like one of my favorite things was, and I don't know if you remember this, like. you had just been let go from a job or something.
That's like most of our stories start. I get let
So
go
I'm always
from
getting
jobs a lot.
I'm always getting fired.
Are we getting this celebrity shot? No. I'm sorry. I don't mean to
It's
put it
true.
up but like.
So he was basically unemployable, is what you're telling me.
No, he was unemployed, not unemployable. But no, I asked him to start recording. I was doing classes at DCH, and I was like, I'm sure I can get like Chris a job at Dallas Comedy House to record stuff. And they were like, I don't know, we have the budget for it. And I was like, okay, whatever. I started asking the students, I'm like, hey, it's your performance night. Would you like that to be recorded? And like people like jumped at the opportunity. Yes, please. I was like, okay, cool. My buddy Chris can do it. It's going to be cheap. It's like $20 per person.
I just wanted to go out and watch more comedy. And I loved that because a lot of those students, I did that for you for like 2 years.
Yeah.
A lot of those students I now see like headlining and doing stuff. And I'm so happy that I got to see them. Like,
Were these like the
work
level
out.
one, like
Yeah.
their first shows?
Yes.
That's exciting.
Yes. I love when I see their name pop up and I'm like, oh,
And I wanted to circle back to that because like he was just a fan. Like he was just like, yo, you made that kid from week 1 to week whatever, like it was 7 weeks. So to week 7, like make people laugh like that. That's insane. And he enjoyed doing that. But also the biggest compliment was he told me like, I don't know if you remember this, but you were like, when I was unemployed, 2 people hit me up. It was my mom and you.
I'll tell this because like
Sorry.
I'm unemployable a lot. That's like a theme
Unemployed,
of the,
not unemployable.
either one, however you want to call it. But again, we know each other just through comedy and stuff, and like having conversations too long when the night has ended or whatever. And I'd been employed for a long time, and then the first big unemployment, there was a little panic because I had 2 kids and stuff. The only 2 people who were like checking in on me every day and sending me like job postings were my mom, all the way in Montana, and Paulos. And that meant a lot. I was like, this guy really cares about me.
That's the homie. You got to look
It's just
out for the homie.
it's another way that this community gave me like a tribe. Even though again I don't perform and stuff, they saw like the small ways I could support, and they were like, okay, you're one of us now, and so I'll give back for the rest of my life for that small gesture that they gave me.
So you started filming the first level students. That was the beginning.
No, because I had that original crew we talked about of like meeting at that first open mic that we went to. Like there were some cool kids who had been doing it for like a year, smoking cigarettes at Hyenas, like near the staircase. And me and my buddy from Montana, like Hicks from the Sticks, were like, "That's who we need to get in with." And so like week 2, we like go over there and we're like, hey, we really like your stuff. And they're like just so green. They're as green as us. And it was like, yeah, we're best friends instantly. And then they were like, well, we want to do bar shows and stuff. And it was like, okay, well, then I'm going to make some posters, but also they're not going to be, I still hate comedy show posters to this day.
So for anybody listening, think 12, 13 years ago, comedy club posters. Atrocious. Just go on DFW Comedians page.
Red backdrop. The old school microphone, the silver microphone
like the
with
Elvis
the ribs.
looking. Yeah.
Nobody's using that. Like it made me so mad.
Because that's what's in clip art, right?
And so I was like, I have all these freaks to work with, and we're doing a bar show at like that nobody's going to come to. Like the poster is going to be psychotic. And so, and I've been doing graphic design and stuff for a long time. So I was like, okay, well, it's like a chance for me to like let my freak flag fly, and they all loved it and stuff. And so that was the earliest beginnings of me supporting in the way I can.
Did you get this knack for marketing design when you were in Montana, or did you come here and get an education? Something like, where did that come from?
It really comes from skateboarding. Growing up a skateboarder.
Listen, my man.
Yeah,
I just bought my 5-year-old a skateboard.
As a skateboarder, whether you like it or not, it's all marketing. Like the magazines, the videos, those are advertisements, and you consciously or subconsciously learn a language about branding and media spend, all of that. And so it was just like kind of baked into me. And then I went into film school with a graphic design minor and kind of put all those pieces together, but wasn't working in skateboarding, but I had all these comedians who had a need for this thing I had just kind of happened upon, like all of my talents like converging at a moment. So it was like just perfect timing.
Before formal education, when you were just skateboarding,
Yeah.
were you just drawing constantly, thinking like, I'm going to design boards or
No.
something, or what?
I worked at a news station all through high school with our buddy Drew.
Yeah.
And it was just like as a skateboarder, you pick up a camera to film your friends. Like you film your homies. And then one of those homies was like, hey, I have a job at a news station that I'm about to lose. You know how to run a camera. Let's go. We got that job, and it's the third-rate like TV station in a tiny town. So like,
Is this Montana?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stakes are low.
What's the town? I want to know the town.
Great Falls, Montana.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So third-rate station in that. So like really the stakes were low. Like the oldest employee on the production team, our director, was like 23 at the moment, and we're 16. We would do the shows on acid and stuff like that. Like we really like that. Like got me into that atmosphere of like, okay, I want to do production. And we had just been comedy nerds, me and Drew, and it was like we were both trying to figure out in Montana, like, how do we make it a thing that we can do? And so, like, being behind the scene, we wrote a
Reggie Watts yet.
No, shout out Reggie Watts from my hometown. He's good friends with my mom now, but we just we wrote a pilot for like a 2-man comedy show at a news station when we were like 17. You know, it was like what we know. But we had no open mics, we had no comedy clubs, nothing. So we just kind of like back pocketed that, and then we moved down here, and Drew just kind of like after we'd lived here for a month or so was like, oh, there's like 100 open mics, and like there's this whole Facebook group and like hyenas and stuff, and we were like, all right, I guess we got to try it out. We've been comedy nerds for 10 years. Let's go.
I got it. Just like real quick, jump in. So like Andrew Woods, I don't know if you know him.
Haven't met him.
I
He
remember
transplanted to Austin pretty early.
He's in Austin now, but I remember his first open mic because his first open mic it was him, Abe Saldivar, who I'm not sure if you know him either, but I remember seeing them, and this doesn't happen at open mics, especially at Hyenas, where you're a newer comic but you get a prime position. When we say prime position, it's like if the mic starts at it starts at what, 7:30?
Yeah, it used to start about 7:30.
Yeah,
and went till about what, 1:30 in the morning.
Oh yeah,
depending on how many signups, right? But the prime position is anywhere between like 8 and 9 o'clock, right? And so people like, and I'm not jerking myself off. I just happened to earn my position. So did Lauren Davis, Tyler Simpson, Matt Greer.
Shout out
R.I.P. the homie. No, he's alive still.
Alive, but not doing comedy.
Not doing
Dead
comedy,
to
which
us,
sucks.
Matt.
That sucks that you're not doing comedy, Matt. No, but no. Both Abe Saldivar and Andrew Woods first week. I found out that night. First week they did comedy. Both killed it.
I remember his whole set.
It was so fucking good that when he talks about like, oh, we came up and we were like, hey, we like you guys. We were walking up to Drew and we didn't even know he was there because like
Thank you.
you didn't go on stage. Like, but we were like walking up to Drew like, hey man, we kind of like you, bro. Like we want to hang out with you. Like you're funny.
Who's this unemployed
And
dude?
then yeah. Who's this
I
unemployed?
won't hire this man. I don't know who he is or what his deal is.
But I'm glad that he came with the package because then we like started like hanging out like and this is like
Instantly.
I say this all the time and I think it annoys him, but literally the funniest guy that I've seen that has never been on stage. Like every time
It sounds like he really wants you to go on
It's
stage.
a fantastic title, and I'll never go on stage because then I join the
No,
pack
that's not
and
true.
I go to the middle or bottom.
That's not true. That's not true. If we sell a certain amount of tickets per show, he will get on stage.
What's
we
the
do,
number?
It's different per venue and
Yeah.
show, but if it's like, I think we do a show at what's LCC 300.
It's about 300.
If we do 300, I told them I'd do 5. And I write
Which
all
I-
the time. I probably have a good 30.
He's written for comics to roast me, so
This
he
sounds
writes.
like this sounds like that Kristen Wiig thing when she's like, "Don't make me sing on SNL."
Like,
and you're like,
I
"Don't
won't.
make me do stand up by buying all these
but she
tickets."
wants
everyone.
to sing. He doesn't want to get on
Yeah, that's
stage.
what he's been saying.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what he's been saying. No, that's awesome. I love that. But catch me up from doing acid at the TV station in Montana.
My bad.
No, you're good.
To
you're
where?
good.
Because that's a pretty straight line.
Y'all were talking earlier about how, one, you hated comedy posters. Two, it sounded like you designed some designs around here that were selling on different products and stuff. But I want to know more about your philosophy of design for something like comedy. Because, for instance, just if we're just talking about show posters, it's like I had a big like punk rock upbringing, right? And so, it's like a lot of times these show posters for the concerts, it's like they almost had nothing to do with the show or the band, but it was just fun and interesting. Yeah. And the most recent one where it kind of revived that was maybe last year or the year before. Jack White did this tour where he'd released this new album. It was a little more of a like back to basics rock and roll style album. And before he went on his mega tour at the huge venues, the festivals, he went city to city and did those small venues. So here he did Trees, and then he went down to Austin, and I can't remember which venues, but he did. He would do 2 sold out nights. The people that were part of like the fan clubs and stuff got access to the tickets early, and they all sold out because you're not going to make money on that, but it's super cool, right? And your diehard fans are going to be like, I can't believe I saw him from 30 feet away.
His version of an open mic.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and he did the cool show posters because I'm sure, as you know, with like Third Man Records and his artistic background. Mm-hmm. But you were looking at the posters and it's like, it has nothing to do with the venue, nothing to do, it's not promoting the album. It's just like, check out this cool thing of art. And you would just see, for him, like with Third Man Records, it's usually like 3 lines. So you would just see like 3 lines on a weird design and it would just say like the address and the date. And it was like, oh, well, that's clearly Jack White. That's incredible. He's at Trees? What? Wow. Yeah. And just the idea of being you can do stuff that's cool that looks like a bad business decision, but it ends up being fun, which is a good business decision.
If it gets
right?
the point across, why not have something attention grabbing? Because again, my graphic design style is very much informed by the same things you're talking about, like punk rock, skateboarding, and stuff. Where like it didn't matter the information, like the aesthetic of it was super.
Can I explain the iconic first arcade bar?
Okay, I'll get there. I am gonna.
Okay, sorry.
I'm leading right up to that.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So again, I'm moving to the big city thinking like they're going to be so much like ahead of me in everything that I think is cool. Mm-hmm. Like they've been doing it. They're older. That's a big scene. I'm coming from a town of like my town literally lost its township. We're a census designated area now. It's small.
So I hate to cut you off. Me and this guy have so much in common.
I know.
So I grew up.
I can tell that from listening to the episode.
We were talking about that literally before we came here.
I grew up northeast of here by maybe 45 minutes to an hour in a little town called Copeville, Copeville.
And you're always trying to cope.
Just coping with it. But literally where I was actually at, we weren't part of Copeville proper. We were county land. Yes. So we have the rock roads and we're on the lake, but it's like, we're not like wealthy lake people. This is like meth trash,
Brother, I get you. My man.
And so literally like there was a gas station out there. It might have changed now, but after I'd moved away, the gas station that was there got hit by a tornado and I don't think they rebuilt it. They were just like, we had a good run.
You gotta, just gotta move on, take your licks.
Yeah. And so similar thing. It's like, we were driving an hour into town to get the Dallas Observer paper version to see what concerts might be going on in the big city. And we'd go to CD Warehouse and flip through the stuff to be like, wow, what CD with cool art can we afford today? And and then you kind of get here and you realize, there's some of that happening, just not as much as I thought was going to be here.
Yeah, I thought I would be like so green in that sense, and like have 15 dedicated show poster designers to like study under, and it was like. All these great comedians, every poster was a red curtain backdrop and that fucking stupid ancient mic that Elvis used, and then just their headshots. And I was like, why? Like, again, this is not like LA, Chicago, or whatever, where like there's standards and like people are going to come out to the shows, or whatever. I was like screaming at people like, it's the Wild West down here still. Like we can be the freakiest place in the world. And so when they finally were like, hey, we're doing a bar show and stuff, I was like, I'm going to make the most outlandish posters you've ever seen. And they loved them. They were like floored. And but it was just like a chance for me to like merge all of my things and give a community and a scene that had given me just a little bit of a shine. I'm like, I'm putting my whole ass and my whole weird ass into this.
The very first poster that he sent us, it was a unanimous like fuck yes. Not a yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, it was like a fuck yes.
Yeah.
And I need you to describe it. Cuz it is out there.
Okay, there's
and then like if we can like at this point put a shot of that poster.
I have
don't know,
them. We can link them in the description or something. However you want to do it.
Well, I mean, is it on any of your social media?
Yes.
You need to do a throwback to it.
Every couple of years we will be like, by the way, this is Chris, guys. This is Chris.
The first one, I took an old picture of a man on the
Meth
streets,
out
just
man.
like opening his shirt, showing a poster that said like "Born to Lose" or something, and I was like, "Well, that's us." And then I just hand drew everybody's name, like misspellings and all, onto his chest or whatever, and they were all just like, "I've never seen anything like that." There was very little information, no headshots.
It's black and
But
white.
it's a bar show.
It's
You don't
a
need
rainbow.
all
None of you are famous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
like,
they
why?
will go to watch
It's
the
not
show.
a draw.
Yeah.
At least
It's
make the
black
poster
and white.
work.
All the names are in rainbow colors because you're not doing enough to. It was so good.
I'll
It was a very.
It's in my
meth-
bathroom now.
It's
I
a very
do
meth-
love it.
Yeah,
Oh, by the way, yeah. We got him into screenshots,
Yeah.
or I'm not screenshots. I'm sorry.
Prints.
Prints. Excuse me. And they're like at his home.
I have prints of all the shows I've done,
Yeah.
and I have a deep archive. Yeah, it's
Well, when y'all get a big facility, that's going to be a fun wall to display all that.
it's my bathroom right now, and it's
yeah.
getting crowded. But I have some of the all-star bangers up in my bathroom.
But it's so good. It was so. It's to this day. It's my favorite poster that my name is on.
And maybe the first poster I spelled your name right.
You did. He thought he was spelling it wrong, but I'm the only one with the name spelled right.
I've done
I'm gonna open this
35
one. Sorry, Tully.
posters for this man, one of my best friends. It's a coin toss to this day if I'm going to get his name right first try. I hate that, but it's true.
It's just, you know, it's not a hard name. It's Paul with an OS at the end, and then Feerow.
You know what? I'll get it.
Yeah, someday.
At some point.
Someday.
I'll get
You
it.
know, we've known each other for 13 years, but we'll get
Just
it at
business
some point.
partners. It's okay.
We're getting there.
You're starting to see why I lost all those other jobs, right?
Again, unemployable. Everyone's like,
He's like, they're like, who's your boss? He's like, it's like a Mark or something. I can't remember.
what do they want on the
Marquez?
poster? I'm going to fucking make
Yeah.
up what I want and spell it how I want.
Yeah, that was, as an outsider, that was one of the early things I noticed. It was so I have a background in music, I have a background in audio engineering, and you know, the comics are so you know, I don't want to be insulting, but it's like the land of misfit toys for these guys and gals. You
That's
know, like
why
there's
I got
something,
into it, yeah.
there's something off, and they may not be the most put together people in everyday life. So up until recently, especially, they are not the type of people to go, I'm going to get a camera, figure out how to work a camera. I'm going to figure out how to get good audio. I'm going to figure out, you know, I'm going to download Canva and work on some show posters.
I don't want them to either.
Yeah, but they, and then when you talk to them, you know, it's like you see somebody trying the hardest they've ever tried in their life. They might have, by societal standards, have been somewhat of a loser up to this point, right? Not a standard job, not standard friends, not standard like intimate relationships. You know, they're just going through stuff. But the comedy is working for them, right? And they're working hard on their set. They're super passionate about the jokes, the material. Now all of a sudden they're on time to things like open mics, bar shows, right? And they care, you know. And then I'm the person who comes in and is like, man, you're doing so good, but you're really not trying hard enough, you know. And this is probably the hardest they've tried in their life at something. It's just the bar for what they've done in the past was pretty low, and so trying to show them like, hey, I know you're working so hard and you're doing what you're supposed to do, but if you were to add in these other elements, if you can somehow find that next gear, just like you found this one that first time. There's a couple missing pieces that would really, really get you cooking. But again, saying that to someone who's at the moment working the hardest they've ever worked at something, you know what I mean? It sounds so insulting.
I never gave advice. So mine is very much like I'll support the way I can. And so I want them, I hate that even modern day comedians who are really good have to like make social media clips and think about their strategy. It detracts from the art that I respect so much. So it's like, if I can be like, hey, y'all, forget about the poster and like when and where to promote and like the email list, like which I do as a living. Like,
Let me be the
do
fucking
that.
clown.
You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
do your job.
But also, and almost like kind of like a reverse from what you're talking about. Like we have a homie, Justin James, who once he left Dallas, killed it social media wise. Like became a huge influencer on different social media.
Adult Disney.
Adult
I'll say
Disney
it.
is
He
crazy.
became an adult Disney influencer,
Wow.
but in a way that is
Like
not as
cool.
gross as you would
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm sure he's a great guy, but all adult Disney people are weirdos. So
No, and he
Well,
is,
he's a
not-
weirdo
he's not
because he's a
perfect.
comic and also he's that.
He's done
yeah.
that route as tasteful as that route
Sure.
could be
Yes.
done. I will give him that.
And he's like
I
one
have
of those,
friends that are adult Disney people. I don't respect it, but they're still my friends.
but like we produce his comedy special the year after, well, so 2 years ago, almost a year and a half ago.
Shot
I
it
should say.
a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
came out a year
year
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Well, about 6 months ago. Yeah.
Sure.
But like, and it was like, it was kind of going back to what you were talking about. It was just like this idea of like, you know, like what are people trying to do? And it's like, I was like, we were just like having a conversation. I was like, hey, do you want to like shoot a special to Justin? And he perked up and was like, oh, I already know how we can do this. Like I have the idea of what it would look like. And it all came down to a venue and whenever you wanted to do it. And we assumed between the two of us, okay, let's do 2 shows and we'll just edit it together.
The traditional way.
Yeah.
The traditional way. And it came down to 1 show and everything had to be right and everything was perfect that night.
You nailed it.
So it came down to one show, not because you wanted it to, just things happened?
No,
or,
I
or
think,
what do you mean?
I think by the time we even planned it in with the venue, we weren't even talking 2 shows. I knew.
Oh, okay.
So again, it's a thing of let the artist do the art and not worry about anything else. Because he had a tight hour, and we'd catch up, you know, because he's in LA, and he'd be like, "My hour is like prime. Been working on it forever," and I'm like, "Well, let us do everything else. We'll find venue, promotion, and stuff. We're gonna do 1 show." And get it all right. And I don't think it even crossed his mind at that point because he trusted us. Like, I might need 2 shows to do whatever.
No, he never said
He
that.
once it got into our hands, he like literally was like, okay, we've worked enough together. I'm going to trust you to do all of that. I'm just going to make the show good. And it worked out.
Also,
amazing.
those comics that we were talking about earlier that we all hung out, that Justin is definitely one of those guys. Justin is like one of the first guys that I hung out with in comedy. So by the time we all formed, I should say it was a
Say
weird
it.
time it was a weird time in Dallas comedy. There was like comedy gangs.
Okay.
Do you know about this?
What
It was-
year?
yeah,
I feel like
gangs is an
you're
overstatement.
like a
It's
Dallas
cliques.
historian
It's just
when it comes to
cliques.
comedy and music. Yes, it's cliques. But
I mean, I know of a few people's beefs, but I'm on the outer edges. I don't have to get involved with it. You
Sure,
know? I
fair.
stay out of it.
so there was like the other guys of comedy.
Uh-huh.
There was like the comedy mafia, and like as a joke, and like to any people in those groups, this is not a shot on you, but we became. First of all, we were supposed to be the best friends in comedy.
I think
comedy,
I
that's-
might have vetoed that.
Yeah,
earlier.
I think he did, and then we became butt stuff.
Okay.
Which
Yeah, well,
when we did those
Again,
shows at
there
our
are no stakes here.
Yeah.
We're a middle market. Why we could be called whatever we
Whatever.
want.
imagine
Butt
the poster
stuff's fun.
possibilities.
oh, we did.
Wait till you see
Butt
them.
Stuff presents.
Oh,
And then, like, a show with a guy's chest out, whose chest should not be out, methed out with my name on. I was like, this is the best poster I've ever seen. in
we
my
finally
life.
got DCH at the time
Yeah.
to come on board to like what we were doing, and they had done enough. I think y'all had gone through improv and sketch programs. They'd paid enough into the system to be like, okay, we trust y'all and we trust your poster maker. I was doing posters for DCH without these guys.
Which location? DCH. The last one or the one right
No,
before?
on
He
Maine.
was there from the first.
But I was there from the Commerce one, and that's when I started to like dibble dabble and like start
The
to know.
Maine, the one off Maine, I think is the one that I knew. The one that is Terry Black's now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
that's what I was saying. Like we were still butt stuff, And at bar shows, it's fine. Like one little 11
Yeah.
by 17 is going to be placed by the door. That's funny for us to go, butt stuff. It got plastered outside of that Main Street thing.
Yeah.
And it's a French girl riding a bicycle.
Yes, yeah.
And I had a Technicolored psychedelic fart coming out of her. And they printed it like 40 times. And I was like, oh, Lord.
Who were you turning these into to make that decision?
That was during Amanda and Maggie.
Amanda was the owner, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and then Maggie was working with her on marketing, and we pre-pandemic got really close to where we were trying to figure out ways for me to work there more like full-time pre-pandemic.
Did you ask them though, like, hey, that's a little bigger than I thought it was going to be? Did they give you the explanation of like, we just thought it was great, or what?
So SV Musical was a huge deal, like
10
a huge
weeks
success.
sold out every week.
And I did all the promo for that. Everything, all the deliverables, everything on the placard, ads in the Observer. I did all of that. I shot all of that to like be like, hey, this is my way of helping again.
When you come in to the show, they hand you
they had real tickets and stuff. It was
it's like a plate order, and
the
sometimes
drink
there was,
special
like, lyrics
cards.
in it. That was all him.
Yeah, I did
was
all that.
All him.
That won Amanda over
gotta-
to me
I gotta hype you up
to kind of give me a little bit more free reign. Because other than that, I'd be begging. Like Beth Stelling came into town, and I was like, I made a poster because I love Beth Stelling. I was like, can this be the poster? And they were like, well, no, her team likes to have this poster like for the tour. I'm like, what does it matter? Like, put up my poster.
Yeah.
And they did, and I was like, a lot of people, when it was on this like big wall, you remember? Everybody, it stood out. And I was like, Amanda finally was like, okay, dude, just like do whatever. And then that's when the butt stuff got plastered outside.
Can I tell a funny story about?
Hold on. Were you excited though? Like when you walked up and saw it, surely it was like, oh, this is awesome, or were you kind of horrified?
No,
like, oh God, they made it huge.
I have so many. Like I'm bawling in front of a Lamborghini. Again, I come from a tiny town in Montana. No business to be in comedy. I don't perform, and now I'm participating in a way that feels right to me, and it's big.
You've literally gotten butt stuff on Main Street,
dude. It was a high watermark for me.
On top of that, and I'm sure I've told you the story a million times, but when Beth Stelling was there that weekend, I'm standing, or she's standing in front of the SV Musical poster that he shot and made a poster of, and she's like really studying that poster. And I walk up next to her, and I don't know what to say. So I'm like, I'm the black guy in that poster. And she looks at me like, what? And I was like, I gotta walk away.
Yeah,
you gotta walk away.
Man. Sure, pal.
And I tweeted that once, and she was just like, I remember that.
Yeah. You startled me.
Yeah. DCH. So were you there till the end?
Yeah, like right up to the end. I was talking to...
What's the official story of why it couldn't last? I've always been so curious.
I'm not privy to that, but I know it was, literally, like, they were gearing up to go to that new location, which is now...
Well, they were at the new location,
and
right?
then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So
I was talking to them about
stuff,
helping Maggie with the marketing and stuff. Like, because again, I'd earned a little bit of their respect doing the S Musical stuff, and then a lot of my posters, like, got, like, love from people. Which most posters get looked at and whatever, but I think mine like had a little chatter behind them because they were weird.
Yeah.
And so they brought me in for a few interviews, and they're like, we really want to figure out how to work with you like more full time, but we have to move to this new venue, which is going to cost a lot of money and like slow things down. So I'm like, cool, hang tight, like love you guys. And then COVID happened. Change of hands, shutting down, and that kind of.
My guess is they tried to stay afloat with like corporate events and things, but it just didn't.
I think
work.
Amanda was doing a lot of like corporate training, LinkedIn stuff to try to be like, we need income.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a desperate time.
I mean, like anybody who's hearing this, like, and I think I speak for both of us. Like, DCH changed both of our lives.
Oh,
like,
I have a huge reverence for that.
Like,
period.
And Amanda and Maggie. Definitely as well.
Kyle,
Kyle,
shout
I
out
fucking
Kyle,
love
too.
Kyle. Was like a big brother that I didn't know that I needed in
Good
my
soul.
life. So we love those guys. It just by that point I had stopped running the Friday night show. You were in talks with something that kind of
This is all within like
dwindled.
a month of the like,
It
and
all,
then
like,
the
kinda
venue
dwindled,
switch and
yeah.
COVID all feel like it happened in 3 months.
Yeah.
And it was probably longer, but it dwindled so fast.
Yeah.
Like
Just
I remember I did like one show during the pandemic era where it was in the outside portion of current DCC, and then I was like, I hope it stays open. And then like maybe a month later, it was like, okay, we're done. And I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
That sucks.
I don't know her, but it was interesting seeing Amanda on social media going from this huge influence in the scene, having a successful venue, to all of a sudden the venue goes down, and then it's okay, I'm like taking a break from all this. It was a fun, however long she ran it.
I don't think
and
she
I think
wanted
she's
to.
like off the radar now, right? Like
I don't think
she
wanted to
pivoted
take
a lot
the
of those
break, yeah.
skills to like, I think she's like was in real estate right away and stuff. And I like knew like she'll be successful, whatever she
Yeah.
does. But I kind of thought the same thing. I had like a Goldilocks period where I was like, maybe it'll come back. Like, you know what I mean?
it's just interesting. Like that person had to put so much into that.
She cares about comedy so
And,
goddamn much.
and then to
yeah.
be like, and I'm done, and it's like, ooh, that must have been.
She
You
not
know,
only-
it was a rough ending.
If it's rough for us, like the owner and
Right.
champion of that thing, yeah.
Well, and I knew that part of the reason they were switching locations was because the people who owned that property wanted Terry Blacks to come in. So even the switch to the new location wasn't like, oh, this is great, we're going to get this new. It was like, we got to find something. I'm sure it was more like that, which is always so. To know the ending of it was just kind of this. You got kicked down a couple times, and then boom, a pandemic wipes you out.
That
and it's
set,
like,
that
ugh.
Main Street venue that's now Terry Black's.
Yeah.
That felt like the black box on Commerce felt like really like grassroots, like where we all
Yes.
started.
Yeah.
The Main Street venue felt like all of us, including them, graduating to a venue that finally got it right. Like the rooms are set up right, the
it
bar,
fit, it
like
fit.
man, it felt like I would go, like I'd be skateboarding through downtown and I'd like be like, I have to stop and get a drink or poop. Like I'm going to DCH. That's like my home when
Yeah.
I'm downtown.
Before we did S Musical at the Main Street property, we had our level 2 or 3 show at the at the Main Street property. Excuse me. And it was like, oh, this is the perfect fit. So by the time we wrote and produced that show, it was like, oh, this is our stage now. This is like for the next 10 years or however long. Like this is our, and it was like, nope.
Yeah.
This
That was
this
a hard
barbecue
loss.
place wants your place. Like it sucked, dude.
Yeah,
sucked.
it was a bunch of things. Like
not a knock on Terry Blacks, but a knock on Terry Blacks.
we had just all. It was like it felt like another level up in graduation for the venue, but also our generation of comedy. And then my work with them felt all like it was finally merging to be like this is our place, and we're like the people to do it now.
Feels like a moment is happening.
And then got very fleeting.
There were so
which
many
is
like
such a
threads that were
cheat.
coming together and then upended at the same time.
That's the way it goes, though, right? How many projects just got so close?
I know.
Just so close, and didn't, So once that was gone, then what?
Oh, me?
Because
Like,
y'all, it sounded like y'all had a lot. You were thinking this is an investment that's about to pay off in terms of more work, and like I'm finding my spot. They'll get the place running at the new location. The money will come in, and I'll be back to work.
I thought it was going to be my full-time job is working with Maggie in the marketing department. Like we had interviewed and stuff, and we're figuring out a way to make it work at this new venue. COVID happens. They start like everyone gets a little desperate, and you can attest to that. It's like these Zoom shows and stuff. I
did some weird episodes.
I tapped all the way out of comedy until when did I pop back up? Like 2023 or
I wanna say,
2022?
yeah. I
Like
wanna say
him
that, yeah.
really calling me when I was in that hammock brought me back out of retirement.
Yeah.
So it was a break from that long to this. now.
Well, I'd lost my
Wow,
venue. Like
yeah.
most of the comedians I work with, like moved at the same time or stopped doing it because it's like how many like weird corporate Zoom shows that do nothing because
Yeah.
those shows sucked. There wasn't a single
Also,
good one. I'll look right into the camera and say that as a fan.
Also, shout out to some of our homies had to fucking quit comedy because of weird ass dudes. Like there's like so many things that were.
It did. It felt like
that.
a lot of like as much good momentum as we had.
Yeah.
It crossed, and it was like nothing but bad news for a while to get me. But then also like I had a family at that time and stuff, and living out in McKinney. just naturally took me out of comedy for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And then the hero of this story, me.
Yes.
No,
we knew you'd get there.
Yeah. No, but I hit him up and like he was like listening to me, and he didn't at any point I don't know if you remember this, but at any point you did not stop me to be like, "Hey, brother, I have to work." You just like listened to it, and I was assuming at some point you were going to be like, "Yeah, but I have to work." And you did not stop me, so I was like, "How come he's not stopping?"
Unemployed.
Well, I didn't know that at the time. I assumed like I'm
In a
bothering him.
hammock.
Yeah.
At the best, what he can do is like provide me like posters and like tell me how to like market it or whatever. And then I started like explaining it to him. He's like, "Let's do it together." And I was like,
He pitched it to me as like he didn't fall ass backwards into this opportunity with the city and Andrea. Because he put on a fantastic shows at the Amphibian, which I've heard nothing but good things about. And that's what brought this opportunity to his door. But then when they were like, put something formal together because the city wants to give you money and there's all these venues, he goes, I've got to call somebody. And he called me.
"Whoa, not somebody, you."
Well, yeah, you
Specifically
called me.
Yeah.
And I understood in the tone of his voice like what he kind of needed help with. And I was like, well, let's brand it as something. We'll make it our own and then like kind of be contractors for them. So it kind of separates us and we can start a brand and just kind of see how that goes. And that was it. Yeah.
Wow. Well, when y'all first talked about it in those early talks, what were you saying it was going to be? Like, we're gonna do this.
So
This is what we want. This
is
thing to be.
hilarious because so okay. I'm gonna say my version of it, and then please tell him your version.
Okay.
My version was very clean and cut, dry. Like it's a stand-up show, but you're gonna help us market it. And he was like, "Okay, fuck you. This is what's gonna happen. We're gonna get this company and this company and this company on board, and then we're gonna ask them for this money." And I was like, "Hey, brother, chill out. We're just starting." He's like, "You're new to this, so now I need you to like explain how you made us so much money."
My
Like,
version of that is, okay, you've got instantly to me, it was like, okay, we fell ass backwards into city of Dallas money. Like, let's like make the most of it. And also like, again, we've been the most critical people of Dallas comedy.
now we have to put our money where our mouth is.
Yes. Like this
literally,
opportunity to do that. So I was like,
literally.
let's make it like a real thing. And, he's like, "That's awesome. I have to talk to the city in like 2 days with a whole pitch." And so I'm like, "Oh, got this." And then again, very unemployable, not like, I'm like,
It wasn't.
I'm
2
so
days.
confident.
but it was like a very short amount of time, and he also put like this pitch deck together, and then
So
also
last
like
minute.
it was so good though, and then reached out to like these companies like Red Bull, Deep Elm Brewing Company, Liquid Death, like they were all signed up to have their stuff shown, and I was like, "Oh shit, fuck. I forget you do this for a living." Like
Now it's real.
yeah.
Well, and we had to pitch to the city, and he's like, "What is that supposed to look like?" And he had like, again, this is my idea, a list of this many shows. And I was like, if we're presenting to the city, let's like brand it and make it themed. And that's as far as I got. And then we met up at Dallas site like the day before, and I was like, I'd written this
office.
down. Like, what about like for the city, like FTC?
Oh yeah. The name of it.
And that's the whole pitch. He was like, "I'm on board with the name," and I'm like, "Well, then we're done."
We're done. We're done.
You just throw your notepad. You're like, all right, first idea.
First idea, panicked that morning.
I don't even want to talk about like the origins of the name.
You
Just,
can
like-
if you
Well,
want.
no, I don't want to because like
Okay.
if somebody's watching this, they might not come out to a show.
Okay,
But
yeah,
the origins of the name was the most hilarious part of our conversation,
Okay.
and it was
You
so.
can, who clued onto it very early? Andy Franklin.
yeah.
Clocked it immediately because
He
he's
was
a
like, "Wait a minute."
skateboarder. He
Yeah.
knew where I got it from,
What?
and he knew what it stood for, really. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Andy knows a secret.
yeah.
Who are you meeting with? Not like the specific name, but like what's the department of the
Oh,
city that
Can I
is-
brag to
Whatever
you
you
about
want.
the
Yeah,
name?
There are
Sure.
some names that
Yeah,
really
we
deserve
need to
some shine.
brag
But,
about.
but what is this department that's giving grants?
I should have
Or
looked
a
it up.
grant.
I
It's
should have looked
performing
it-
arts
Well, it's
budget.
it's the City of Dallas Arts and Performance something, and I apologize for that. But it is it's the group that boards the money that's allocated to not only cultural centers but also like museums or any kind of artistic whatever that is a free show.
So the money's allocated to those spaces,
Yes.
and they're looking for
Yes.
people to do something interesting with those spaces.
Yes. And so Andrea Totson, who I will brag about her name all the goddamn time. Hey, Andrea, what's up? Legend. She used to come out to our shows in Fort Worth. And I'm going to say our shows because, like, you've helped with some of those.
I think I did
in
some poster
one way or
work,
the
yeah.
other. Like, I produce this show. Like, I mean, I find the comics. He does a lot of the background work. So, but yeah, Andrea used to come out to those, and she was just like, "Hey, I don't know, like, who's doing your shows, but we would like that in Dallas." So Andrea is like our homie. She's the one who got us not only the grant. So the first year of FTC was not supposed to be us. It was just me and Andrea doing 3 shows in Dallas. And I was like, I think I could do more than that. And she was like, well, I can only afford this. What I can do for you is I can get you the Latino Cultural Center. They'll give you an additional 3 shows. And I'm like, oh, shit, we're doing 6 shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Latino Cultural Center heard my pitch, and they were like, we'll give you 1 extra show. So it's 7 shows. And so I'm like at a point where I'm like, oh, let me hit up Chris, because I've been producing shows with him for years. Hey, I have 7 shows next year. This is in 2023. And Chris is like, okay, we can do that. Here's the plan. And this is where Chris comes in with marketing, sponsors, all the stuff. Posters are going to be crazy. We're going to grab people. And then on top of that, the shows are free. That turned from 7 shows in 2024 to 16 shows based on marketing, or I'm sorry, not marketing. I'm sorry. Based on sponsorship deals and city money.
Mm-hmm.
We were on board to do 7 shows in our first year, and we did 16 shows. And then even before we did 1 show, we did WFFA Good Morning Texas. Before we did 1 show, they were like, hey, do you know Pete Friedman?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know him, but I know him, Wasn't that Central Track?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But Pete was like, he was like, yo, I'm going to just like shoot this information over to Good Morning Texas. And I was like, okay, whatever. That's not going to happen.
I think people picked up on how novel it was for like performing arts budget, even to trickle down to stand-up comedy. I think like everyone kind of went, what? Like,
well, what was the pitch? Like, you know, they're saying, what are you telling the city? Why will this be, you know, you should have this in your space as opposed to something else? Because
I love the question here, because like I hear
because
what you're
this
saying.
is money. This is taxpayer money.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
What are they looking for, and what were you telling them that you could do?
I feel like I'm not really explaining enough, but like, so our shows are stand-up comedy, and the backdrop is we feature a visual artist.
Okay,
that's what we sort of packaged up. So again, it was like he brought to me.
This was y'all's pitch to them.
Yeah, we kind of wrapped it up, and for the city, what does that mean? Okay, we're going to support comedians we want to put on, but also there's other parts of the Dallas like art world that I thought also, that's another thing, like moving down here, I thought there'd be a lot more crossover with like music artists and comedians,
which it used to be. We used to have like this like deep element. And
I think it just comes in waves.
Yeah. But I remember growing up
Moments.
in a, like, they used to all hang out in one space. And yeah, you're right. It comes in waves. And like, I remember my wave where they used to all hang out together, and now they don't. So we're trying to like repurpose that. I don't mean to interrupt.
No, that's it. I mean, that's it. And so we're like, the pitch was like, hey, let's really make this like a celebration of the city, not only the comedy talent, but like we also have an insane gang of artists that are not getting their shine. The same way, like our core mission really is we want our comedian friends to get another paycheck and have another night to go up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then let's do that for the other people we care about, musicians, artists. And so we're like
DJs.
So that's the pitch to
all
the city is like it's really a celebration of the city more than just stand-up shows.
Yeah.
Like we're going to really highlight what we love about the city, and that's art, music, and comedy. And so that's like the shows are like we're always going to feature an artist. We're going to make it just like a little more.
And when we say
have a little more
artist, that
depth.
means any artist. Like, yeah.
Yeah, we've done physical mediums. Like we've done so many different. Like,
What are some of the physical
artists.
mediums?
Oh my gosh, I wish I remember the girl's name who did all the cakes and stuff on our.
Oh, yeah. I
our
don't remember
stage.
her name.
She was amazing.
So we
Cakes?
should have. So Christine
Super cool.
Berger is our. She does like the curation of like physical art, and we will, like, in any venue where we don't have physical art, one of us knows a DJ, one of us knows a band, but Christine Berger does all of our physical art. So we've had like people like, do you know Otzel Flores?
No, it's not ringing a bell.
Dude,
Legendary
he's
graph artist.
legendary. Guy.
He's
yes.
What does he do?
also
He used to be graffiti artist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, shit. You knew what I was
he's
saying.
an OG graffiti
Yeah,
artist.
OG
but he
graffiti.
also now does insanely good fine art too.
insanely good, like portraits of people. It's so fucking
Sidebar, real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
because he'll
They
love
both
this
got
story.
arrested. They both got
To
arrested.
promote the show, I was like, "Oh, we got a graph artist." I was like, "Take me out for a weekend." Like, I haven't bombed anything in a long time, and so him and his buddy take me out, and like we just go to like an abandoned school in South Dallas. We do a huge FTC piece. I'm like, this is so sick. Like the second we finish, like 8 cops come and like get us at gunpoint and stuff, get full on arrested or whatever. It turns out they thought we were scrappers or whatever, but it was just like such a bonding experience. I'm like in the back with these 2 graph legends, and they're like, you know what? They're treating us really nice because we got a white boy with us. And I was like, I'm glad I could be of service to you guys. But yeah, we're bonded forever after getting arrested for that.
See, because you came from that small Montana, meth town like I came from.
Oh, he was
That's
ready
why they
for
were like, it's
action.
definitely a scrapper in there.
Oh yeah, they clocked the one white guy, and they're like, oh, he's coming for the copper.
Definitely. That's pretty awesome, though. Yeah.
It's hilarious because like I was working like a late night shift at my job, so I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. And I remember getting a message from me like, "Do not come, stay home." And I was like, "What's happening?" And he told me what happened.
Skateboarder,
Yeah.
like I used to do graffiti. Like I was so happy getting arrested with them. Like I was like, this is such a good story, and we got the piece. Like, and now those 2 are like bros to me. Like,
Yeah, Otzel is fucking amazing.
but that's all those scenes like we're talking about, like graph, skateboarding, art, comedy. Anybody who performs used to be like. That was a singular tribe almost. you know?
yes.
Yeah.
And that was just like kind of a secondary mission of like how do we incorporate that with
From
our
what I
shows?
see, especially on the music side, what makes me cringe right now with a lot of just what do you? It's not lower level, but entry level musicians. You're not famous. You're here locally doing things. People are just so focused on being like too cool. Do you know what I mean?
Self-serious.
Like
Yes.
I've got to put on this vibe because even on this show, sometimes I interview musicians, and right at the jump, you always wonder like, okay, are you going to be yourself, or are you going to be this person you're trying to portray to this audience right now? And if it's the latter, that usually sucks. It takes like 15, 20 minutes of trying to like break that down. And I think they're doing that just in social interactions where everyone is like a little scared to ask for help. Everyone would really love to collaborate, but they also are like so cool. They're like, I don't know, what if this messes up this cool facade I have going on right now? It's like, shut all that down. Nobody thinks you're cool. Nobody cares. Why don't you go make something cool with this other person who would like to make something cool? But I think they're so focused on, with social media, it's like, I've got to have this presence.
I protect my brand.
Yes,
What is my cool is mine. Where growing up, like if I saw somebody who was into punk rock or had skate shoes on or did graph from a mile away, I'd be like, we're instantly brothers.
Do you want to be friends?
Now it's like, well, you don't make the exact kind of music, and you haven't met my friends yet. Like, I do see that from a younger generation.
Somebody that was going to come on the show asked me like what the brand of my show was, this podcast, and like how that would incorporate with their brand. And I was like, hey,
sounds disgusting.
I was like, hey, so it's it's a podcast. It's called I'm a Fan Of. It's things I enjoy. I happen to enjoy your stuff a little less now.
Now I don't.
Probably also one of the easiest premises, like in the title, like it's a 1-sentence premise. Like,
and it was just like it's just one of those things. Either you want to come on or you don't, and if you don't, that's totally cool. But I'm not forcing you either. Like I don't give that much of a shit about it.
Don't sell yourself.
But it's like the brand. I don't know, man. I'm a guy who just likes to talk to people about stuff that I enjoy. I thought it was pretty clear, but
I hate talking about branding. Number one.
I love this idea though because like it. I mean, it goes from like our understanding of what. Also, it's not our brand. It's just what we do. It's like service back to our creative community, right? Literally tonight, we have an open mic that's going on at Downside Billiards.
Mm-hmm.
I asked Dante Martinez. I love you, Dante.
Another huge shout out.
Yeah, that's a homie.
That's a big
He's
boy.
like taking over that for me, and I've been doing comedy again. Next year's going to be 14 years, and I run an open mic because I want to see like who's funny, who's like doing stuff, and like there's a kid that just moved to Texas from Kentucky. He's been doing comedy for 3 years. I found that out tonight, and he's going to be doing one of our shows next month. And it's like, that's what we're trying to do. It's like we're like looking for people that are doing stuff, and like I think that is what you're supposed to do. It's not like, hey, what's the lighting situation in your podcast? It's like, how can I be of service to my community? When we say for the city, we mean for the fucking city. Like, sorry, I don't mean to cuss.
You can cuss.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We also brought shots, so I should cuss. Like,
You're
bitch. No, I'm joking.
You're allowed.
But no, it's like, come on. Let's fucking be real for a moment. Like, I know you and I talk about this all the time. It's for the city comedy, but it's like get the homies paid. That's
our okay. So
that's
we
our
talk
unofficial name.
We talk altruistically about like we raise money for charity. We love getting money from the city. We want to merge all these cultures.
Yes.
Core mission number one is
get the homies paid.
We have so many talented comedians, and there's only so many weekends and stuff to go up or bar shows that don't pay. If we can once a month give one person we like a check that does not reflect their 1 hour of work, and them to go, they always go, no, you paid me too much. That's
I love because we get that. We get that all the time. We get people like, hey, I think you sent me too much money. It's never that.
That's the core.
But also comedy clubs that have been here all the time. Why are they asking us that? And it's not all of you. Please don't take that as an offense. It's not all of you. It's the ones, excuse me, that are paying people not enough that we pay them more for one night that you do for 5 shows. Just throwing that out there. Like,
to tie back to like that race to the middle thing. Before you like burn your bridge at every comedy
I want to burn the
goddamn
bridges.
country.
Let me burn my bridges.
It's that race to the middle thing that I saw early of like, there's only so many like, okay, you're going to try your hardest and then get one weekend at the Addison Improv every 2 months. Get them one more paycheck. Give them one more decent night to go up. Like that's it at the barest bones of what our mission is, you know?
Yeah, and I think what some of it, like Addison Improv is probably a good example.
They pay great.
Well, no, I'm not saying anything negative.
I'm just throwing that.
But another thing that happens that someone was explaining to me, which I'm sure you're familiar with, is even a place like Addison Improv, which might have good intentions and want to put more locals up, they're dealing with really high caliber headliners, and half the time they're like, no, we got our own people.
Yeah,
you know,
they bring somebody.
And so
along,
even if they want to help, it's like, no, we've got our group. And unless they're just exceptionally cool, where it's like, yeah, throw a local crew on there. I mean, they're going through the motions on their tour or whatever they're doing. So even if you're not being a jerk about it, some opportunities are just taken away.
I was running it was called Friday Night Stand Up at Dallas Comedy House. And I remember talking to Amanda Austin about like payment structure for comics. And the biggest like what we can both concede to is like we got to pay more than the clubs that are not this club, because it was a club at that point. Like they were making enough money to be a club at that point. But me and her were like trying to figure that out, and I sent her like ideas. She sent me ideas, and we went back and forth for a while, and then we got to a point where it was just like we're just gonna pay more than not the lowest paying, but the second lowest paying. Because at that point, it was just like 3 big comedy clubs in DFW. Now
we have several now.
You can throw a rock and there's a comedy club in Dallas, Texas. It's like, but we were just like, we're just going to do like the middle one, and we're going to pay a little bit more than them. I also got Amphibian Stage to do that. I was just like, hey, this is the payment that they're giving out. Can we just like do a little bit more? And the difference between those two situations is Amphibian Stage is literally right across the highway is Hyenas Fort Worth. So now, like, I'm like, my hand is behind my back, and it's like there are people that are like, ooh, should I do this Hyena show or should I do this Amphibian show? And I was like, listen, you can come and do this show. We're going to pay you this. But if you want to do Hyenas, I don't know if I'm not trying to be a dick. Sorry, Hyenas, but they used to do this thing where it's like if you do that show, you can never do our show.
Yeah, I've heard they've had radius clauses.
Yeah, sorry. Like just being honest. But like I was like,
silly for a middle market like Dallas. That is insanely silly and stupid.
Which, by the way, Hyenas, if anybody wants to come on here, I'd love to hear the philosophy. I mean, maybe there's a piece. Maybe there's a piece I don't
I'm
know.
sure there is some economics about how they operate and their
I'm not
budgets
trying to
and stuff.
start shit on you.
Yeah, it won't affect me at all. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
it's all
it'll
good.
affect me. I don't care.
Yeah, no.
I don't.
I'm impartial. I just want to hear people's thoughts. You know.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like, listen, I will pay you more than they will. But if you don't want to do it, I get it, because, like, I don't know, like, I guess you're going to do it twice this year, so you'll do twice and get the same amount of money I gave you for one night. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, I got you. But, like, why? Can we all live in harmony? Like,
if you think about, like, a scene like a Boston,
yeah,
and you think about, you hear all the stories about people coming up there, it's like, if you get to a certain level, it's like, oh, I can, like, literally walk around the corner and make money 3 times a night. And, you know, that's great because they have that comedy history and infrastructure. I, again, a country bumpkin from nowhere, I meet all these people and I see all the talent day in and day out. And I'm like you said, it's just we're missing those rungs on the ladder to give them that. And now with podcasts being so popular and like whatever's happening in Austin, the man who will not be named, it is good for comedy everywhere because people have an appetite to go out and see comedy. Like Dallas just has everything going for it to be one of those towns where it's like, yeah, I did 3 things tonight on the weekend. But these small club politics and just this middle market attitude, which again probably has a lot of justification. But I'm from very much the outside, so I see it and I go, this is stupid. It should be changed. It should be how any of these other, because Boston's not a huge market. Chicago isn't, but they have institutions when it comes to comedy. Why couldn't we?
I don't know how big the Boston market is. Obviously, I guess it's probably
pretty big.
Is it big? But I was going to say, even if it's a smaller one, there's something there that produces these killer comics. I don't know if it's just the
like
attitude of the
East Coast
Northeast
comics,
or
yeah.
what.
The
but-
system also, too,
Yeah.
that we're talking about, where they can go up and then walk around the corner and go up again, that grooms, that'll take a talented person and groom them into somebody who can do the whole country. Where, again, we might have that raw talent, but then they're just missing rungs on the ladder to get them to there. And so that's bare minimum, like get them one more night to go up a month, one more paycheck, we're doing our part. We can't build the whole ladder.
Well, it's kind of like when I waited tables. It's like every now and then you're going to get stiffed.
Yeah.
But then every now and then somebody's going to come in who tips really fat, and it just kind of balances out. And you're like, oh, that was cool. you
Yeah.
know? And it's like I think a lot of servers do that. You know, so if you've ever waited tables, it's like you always, when you get really good service, especially, it's like you always tip grossly what you should. It's way more because it's like, okay, this will make up for that one that walked out or whatever it was. But it's just that balance. But the bigger clubs, I mean, like it's dancing around it, but especially a club like Hyenas, that to me, I would love. I don't. I've never met the owner,
Randy,
Mr. Hyenas.
He can't.
I believe it's.
I think we call him
He
that.
can't be named.
No,
that
I believe
for
it's Randy
real.
Butler, right?
Yeah.
I don't know him. I wouldn't even know what he looked
Sure,
like. I don't have a relationship with him, but
I'll say he said very nice things to me when he saw me perform once. So
I mean, well, and I hear mixed from people, which is what I would expect of somebody who runs a club. How long have they been here now?
I mean,
20
before
plus
I started,
years, right?
Yeah, before I started.
So
So,
I-
like at least 20, 25 maybe.
So I would be very interested to learn the philosophies and then the, I used to do that, but then in 1995, this happened and we changed. I'd love to, because I'm not saying
it
it's-
wouldn't matter though.
I'm not saying it's good or bad.
Yeah,
What I'm
yeah.
saying is, especially me not producing shows.
Sure.
I'd be very interested. Well, but not like that. Not like that.
I need to give you your props.
I
need to
would
give you your
say-
props.
I'd be very interested to learn
Yes.
what I don't know. I don't know.
There's an economics there that they have stood by for a long time, which is maybe a layover from old comedy club systems that
look
probably
at you
makes
with
sense
the
on
fucking
paper. I'm
verbiage that
diplomatic.
I'm not doing.
But I do.
And also
it
think
might
about
also
it.
be outdated, maybe.
Also think about it though. If you came from wherever, you opened up a place here, it was successful. You opened up another one, it's successful.
Sure.
And
What's the way to consolidate?
but what I'm
save
saying is
money?
you're
Yeah.
probably thinking, I've built this. They haven't. What do they know? What do they know? Look what I've done, and you haven't. And so although I agree with a lot of the sentiment of like times change, things change, and I hear the grumblings, but I don't know the facts, obviously. Yeah. And you can do quick back of the napkin math on tickets sold, 2-item minimums, and you can get some economics in there.
I feel like
but I don't know.
I feel like I can speak about this because I don't care what this does to me.
Okay.
It also doesn't harm him.
I have no brand and I'm unemployed permanently. I don't perform. You can't book me on
It's
anything.
like I keep my hammock with me at all times.
Yeah,
But like-
I stay
but like-
in that hammock.
But like this goes back to what we're discussing. Is like when we talk to our friends, it's more like, hey, this show as a opener, you're literally getting your 5 shows there.
Yeah.
You're getting that plus X amount of money.
Yeah.
And then if you're a headliner, it's like you're even getting better than that. And it's like, why can we do that?
Also,
as
the
like
people
two
who run the
bum-ass
shows
motherfuckers.
are way better. The people behind the scenes are also. We are way funner and chiller to have a show.
Yeah, we're very chill.
And also, but I will say this isn't.
But
like,
we're bums. Like, why
Devil's
are you
advocate.
I
like,
can't
I
wait.
like
Hold
being
on. I
the-
can't wait like 10 years from now if y'all open up a club and people are like, they don't pay shit.
See,
Yeah.
see, that's what I was about
and
to
you guys
say.
are
never
like,
doing
you guys
that.
like,
We're
you know
never
what?
doing
I was about to say
We
that.
opened it up. We found out it was really hard and really expensive.
I like being there. Every scene like that I've ever been in, music, skateboarding, whatever, there has to be this big corporate thing that the alternative is the antithesis of. Without that, all like if every club was the best and they ran well and they paid well, there'd be no reason for us. We would
there's
never had
so
these
many good
grievances.
clubs. Gaddison Improv
Yes.
pays great. Mic Drop pays great. The newest one, Punchline, they pay great. DCC, they pay great. Like, we're not like
They
saying like,
occupy a space though that
Yeah.
I think we're not interested in being in, and we're not.
Yeah.
You know, as much as we have like,
we
foibles
also
with
don't
them,
want to be a club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We again want to be one of those. I love the ladder rung analogy.
Oh, dude.
'Cause that's something I've been
Cowabunga?
trying to like articulate for
Cowabunga?
12 years. Yeah.
Cowabunga kills it. Shout out to the homies, Knees and TV. They're killing
I think
it.
he just goes by Vinny now.
Well, Vinny, I'm sorry.
I
sorry,
think he got
Vin.
really upset
I
when
know
I
you
said
as
that.
TV. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've known him for like almost the same time I've known
All
him,
of those
so.
shows really occupy a little bit of that same space we're talking about, like those rungs on the ladder of like, well, then, Vinny saw me and he could put me up on True Detective, and then somebody saw me there. Like, again, it can't just be I'm killing it at a weekend at DCC, and then I have to hope and pray to get the Hyenas or the Addison Improv, and then end of story.
But also, even if you get both of those things, you should be allowed all of the things. Now, I spoke about this with Central Track when my good buddy Alex Gaskin was doing like a featured comic every week, and I was like, "Here's the thing, I am one person. I can't do every show every week. If I'm funny enough, I should be asked to do all these, but." There's this political weird thing that happens where it's just like, you can do my show one week, but if you do their show, you're not going to do. And we don't operate like that. You can work wherever you want, but we want to rock with you.
Yeah.
If you're funny, we want to rock with you. Like, and that's what happens. It's like people are just like, not only the audience, but the comics are like, yo, I like the audience. And the audience is like, we like the comic.
We found a
That's
really
all we care
good
about.
free space in this like kind of gap we're filling, that expectations are low, and then we always exceed them with the comedian pay and then with the audience. Because again, there's a new appetite for going out to comedy because of, again, shows I won't mention, comedians I won't mention nationally. But that's good for us, like they're coming out. Like people we don't know and our word of mouth are like, a lot of our shows, first comedy shows they've ever been to.
I
They
host
might
all
like
the shows.
those shows.
I host all the shows. I ask them like, hey,
Yeah.
is this your first FTC show? And we're always surprised by the outcome of like, yeah, it's my first one. It's like,
I like the space we occupy, and it's kind of, we fell ass backwards into
so ass backwards.
fulfilling it, but I'm very proud of what we've kind of cultivated.
So when it comes to like a newcomer on an open mic or something who's thinking, ooh, I want to get on an FTC show, what are some of the boxes you guys are hoping they check?
That literally just happened.
Yeah. What do you think is a good?
I
what do you
just
think is a good
introduced him
fit?
today.
Yeah.
I introduced him today to an open micer because
Is this the guy from Kentucky that you
Yes.
talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. What's his name?
Deontay Butler. Sorry if I fucked up your name, brother.
I was introduced to him as
Yeah.
Deontay.
Deontay.
So,
So,
shout out Deontay.
he started off as an open micer on an open mic that I have like 12 weeks. He's going to be the opener of our show next month.
Is that what 5 minutes?
No, he's going to do 12 minutes.
12
We've
minutes.
done, sort of a farm league thing a few different ways. Like this open mic, we were doing, collaborating with Lily Lopez on a series of shows called Big Sexy Texas. Shout out Lily.
Big Sexy Texas.
We did those at double wide and single wide, and it was like double wide was a paid show. So like if we really liked you or you're a homie, you're getting on that show. But these pop-ups we would do at single wide come through if me, him, and Lily were like, damn, we really liked him. Like, then you're going to get on a show.
Yeah.
It's like, it's very much like farm leagues. Like, come out to our show, support us a little bit. If
But
we
had
like
to
you,
double down and create an actual open mic. And shout out to the homie Danny. He does the music portion of our open mic, and he brings musicians in. But like now we have like this whole thing where
Where's the
we're
open
doing
mic? Is the open mic?
Dallasite.
Dallasite Billiards. Yeah.
What are y'all doing at single wide?
That was last year. So we're putting together our yearly schedule now. Like, we're talking to all the cultural centers, just solidifying dates, and then we're going to fill in the gaps with outside venues.
Single wide is one of the spots that my wife and I, that's like, well, before we had a new baby and everything, it's like that was one of the spots we drop in, because to me that was that is like one of the most true, that's a true representation of a Dallas bar in my mind, because you might go in there might be somebody in a suit, there might be somebody with a mohawk. It's like there's this very interesting mix of people, especially with its location on Lower Greenville. And then the thing we were talking about, like before we were starting, it's like they always have bartenders that are just good. Just good serve.
Staples.
You know, they don't kiss my
Dallas,
ass. They don't know my name, but they're
single wide.
Yeah, but they're just friendly, and they get my drink fast, and there's no no extra bullshit, but it's
Shout
just,
out to the GM. She is
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
So how did y'all do a show there? Was it
Did you-
towards
have you
the
never-
back by the
No,
bathrooms
right
or
up
up front?
front. So
that
people
little
would
place
walk
behind
in.
the Yoo-hoo machine?
Which was awesome because it is unhinged and it's a free show and we're just getting walk-ins. But it's also fun for us to see both new comedians we're trying out and heavy steadies deal with that. It is one of my favorite things to watch.
we have one of
It's
the
so
most
fun.
iconic photos of like a group of multi-generational comics who
Oh.
came out to our first one.
Shout out Broccoli Bunch, that whole gang. That's when I first saw all of them in person, and they, dealt with the people walking in really well. They were cool
Making
to us, just
jokes?
doing on a
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
you just
that's
have,
a
like, a little-
talented group of
You know the
people right
Broccoli
there.
Bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it just like a little one PA speaker thing y'all had,
Oh,
or what
yep,
were y'all
yep,
doing?
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
We
It
were
was
playing through the
so low
house
stakes.
speakers.
Okay,
Like,
It was so
okay.
low stakes.
it was so bad.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love the chaotic nature.
And
Because
they
again, it
didn't
was
care.
like
They was like,
tryout.
yeah.
Because also the patio's just right there outside the door, so even if you're just out on the patio, you can hear the whole thing and
You're
have a good
hearing
time.
their conversations.
Yeah.
You're hearing the back
Yep.
of the room. But I
Peyton
thrive
was
in
the
that
last
chaos.
one that went up and just fucking murdered.
Zach killed there too.
Well, everybody murdered,
Yeah.
but like Peyton was the last one, so I gotta brag about like how she handled that. She was just like, "Oh, everybody's talking," and then made everybody stop talking, and I was like,
Yeah.
Did Single Wide enjoy having it there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have a
good
good
time.
relationship with them,
Yeah,
and then that's just like we've got to fill our city dates, and then reach out to them and be like, hey, you got any Lucy's? Because we'd love to do a double wide again. Our show's a double wide
double
again.
wide.
Shout out Lily and Big Sexy Texas. Those were highlights of my last 2 years. Those were such fun shows, and she rules, and we got to get that going again. And Derek from Double Wide is
Derek is
magic
amazing.
man.
Yeah,
We love him.
Yeah, Double Wide. I've been in bands and we played shows there. That's always a real fun spot, and it's just got an interesting dynamic because there's people in the bar, then there's the courtyard area, and then there's the venue.
Yeah.
And so you still can pull people in from the courtyard into things.
I love that.
You know,
yeah.
it's not like it has. There's nobody walking by the venue. There's just a lot of people at the
It's-
bar who might go, "Well, what's going on in there?"
when you're not
But
locked
they have
into
to
any.
buy tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see people do that where they're in the bar portion and they're like, "So what's happening over there? It's a comedy show, it's a band, whatever." And then maybe they're in the courtyard for a moment. They're like, "All right, I'll go ahead. Give me a ticket. I'll come in." So you can
when
pull
when
people
we
in, which
did
is
it-
fun.
When we did it, they were like the last comedy show. In fact, the only comedy show that they had there were the Backyard Boys. What I don't
I
know.
can't remember the name.
It's
of
like a.
Was it like
it's
a comedy troupe or
It's
something?
like a Netflix show. It's called
Oh.
like the. I don't know, the Backyard.
it.
I don't.
No, are you talking about the Trailer Park Boys?
Trailer Park.
Oh.
Boys, trailer-
Please,
Sorry.
please respect
That's like
my
a very
culture.
big.
Sorry.
Please respect my culture.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
I thought you were
whites.
talking about some small local
I
group.
kinda
It's like
thought-
that's
No,
a,
they
it's a
were
pretty
big. They
famous
were
thing.
big. They were big.
They're a little
but they
rig
were
out
like
of
they were like
Canada.
they were like the only. They were like they're the only comedy group here that is sold out. And I'm sorry, I don't know Trailer Park Boys. Didn't grow up in a trailer park, my boys.
Hey.
But we not only sold out this show, and I don't think I can legally say this, but we started like being like, yeah, come on, like just like.
Oh, we went over capacity.
Yeah, we were so over capacity, like
Yeah.
our first show, and it was like, and that's a lot to do with Lily. She like produces such a great show.
That's another talent.
Yeah.
We were like to collaborate at all was an
Yeah.
honor, and to like just she knew what she was doing. She had
Yeah.
hosted that show, I think in Austin or Houston or wherever.
Austin, yeah,
And she was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Well, let's do it here." And I was like, "Okay, well, let's like find the venue. We'll handle the like boring shit. You just host it and do your job." And we crushed. It
Were
was
they
such a good
standing or
show.
sitting in there?
Standing. Which we were.
So we wanted to
that-
do
how's that
sitting.
going?
Yeah, we wanted
No.
to do sitting.
I think the venue itself and most people like who were there
Sitting
had
was
been
50.
there.
Standing was like 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to stand. I think like if you've ever been to a show at Double Wide, which I know you've been to
Yeah.
tons,
Yeah.
for music and stuff, I don't care if they were showing chess on the stage. I don't think I'd want to sit down. Like it's a standing room only venue. We were really worried about it, but by the end it was like
Yeah.
packed, like
It
nuts
got
to butts.
crazy.
We were
It got
letting
crazy.
freebies in after the capacity, nuts to butts, and that was.
I'm
such a
so
good
sorry,
show.
Derek. Please fast forward. Please fast forward.
We're talking to the fire marshal next week.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
He's coming
We'll
on
bring,
next week.
we'll bring it up. Yeah.
I'm a fan of.
Dude, we also he and
I really respect occupancy.
Yes.
You know.
he and I also did at Double Wide, one of our sponsors, discussing. What's the name of
Malort.
Malort. Oh, yeah,
Jepson's Malort. So they sponsored one of our drinks. Or I'm sorry, they sponsored one of our shows.
All of our double wide and single wide shows.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah,
and so they also
asked me to like be a judge when Double Wide hosted like a Malort cocktail contest.
Oof. Those people are freaks.
Yeah,
they come out in costumes.
Yeah,
they are like sick Midwestern people. No shade. I say that with like, you should be proud of that.
Yeah.
They come with the full Malort flags and stuff, and then the cocktails that were being made were like pickled frog legs in a Four Loko.
Yeah, I learned a couple of years ago the
disgusting.
Malort crowd is diehard.
Yeah,
they're sadistic.
Yeah,
they're definitely there's a BDSM Malort fandom. Like the Venn diagram is a perfect circle.
Very thin. It's very thin. In
oh Lord!
Did you work with the Brave Boys up in Denton? Ever?
Yes.
Yeah. I think they were trying to bring Malort around up there. I don't know if it ever caught on, but
did you hear how they used to do that to you though?
No.
Okay, so
I think you told me this one.
Yes.
Malort got brought up.
But also we had a and you came out with us. It was so we had like the butt stuff worldwide Texas tour where we literally just went to Denton, Dallas, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, and back to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And so our first stop was Denton, and it was me, Lauren Davis, and Tyler Simpson. And I don't tell them this. I've done a couple of Brave Boy shows at this point. But what they do, these sadistic pieces of shit, I love you guys. But what they do is they bring you out, and they're just like, hey, guys, real quick, before we do the show, we're going to take you to a different bar, and we just want to have a shot with you. And then you see somebody pour brown into, and it's like, okay, we're doing whiskey. And then you take the shot, and describe it.
It's bile. It's like puke if you have nothing in your stomach. It's bile. It's a pure human product that comes up and out of you.
I wish I could show you. Actually, you know what? This is a point right now to show Chris's reaction
I
to
love your
Malort
production notes. Like insert this here and then push in real quick.
Yeah.
If you
I
could
wish
for
you
this.
could
Mark this.
No, I wish you could see his first time doing it because he takes the shot and he's just like, "What are you guys talking?"
Oh, it snuck up on me, and I kind of thought like, "Oh, I might like it."
Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
Yeah,
And that was my first instinct. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm taking a shot with the homies.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like my whole body froze. I was like, what did you
Shout out
just
Malort.
do?
We love you so much.
We love you
Keep
so much. We
sponsoring
love
our
that
shows.
money,
Come
too.
back.
Yeah.
Also, they gave me like a free keychain I still wear.
I still have it.
And
I
it,
still have it.
Freaks from the Midwest will spot it from a mile away and be like,
cool.
Malort.
Well, I mean, you were, going back a little bit to just marketing in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny how people find their pocket and their corner like that. Who did Malort ever think they would have this going on? That they would have this diehard fan base doing cocktails at these bars? It's like find your lane and just drive in that lane as well as you can,
and find it organically too.
Yeah.
Like get outside of the system and the path you're supposed to follow. Which I have like a privilege of again not being a performer, and I think when you're a performer, you get into your head about like I have to develop my sound. I have to hit all these venues that other people are hitting. I just live so far outside of that. It's very easy for me to be like, fuck that. I don't give a shit about that. And then he's receptive to that. So we're like a great team in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also like when we approached them, because like we approached them like during the very first show that we did, you had like this pitch where you were like, hey, we would like to use you guys as like how we bring people into the show.
Oh, yeah.
And then you were like, we are going to be disgusted by the shot that we take. And they were like, that's the fun of
we
it.
promote it that way. Every promo
they were
we
like,
cut.
they were like, people don't approach
They
us
understood
that way.
it.
Yeah, they were like, yeah.
I got what they were going for, and I was like, every promo we're going to cut, like, we're going to take a shot of Malort for our first times and then cut the promo with it still, like, in our mouth. And those went, they did numbers. Taylor's, I think, did crazy numbers. And then at the show, we had the comedians do it too. Like, and so the brand was like very much like, you activated the brand.
At the point,
it was
the
fun.
brand was like, there was somebody from the brand like,
Yeah.
stay there, and it was like, yo, this is kind of insane because like we're too fucking. Well, you consider yourself a bumpkin. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I still consider myself a bum. I don't know, like,
Yeah.
I trust you to tell me how to interact with these brands, and I was like, I think we're doing good right now because like they're just like, yeah. Like,
Well, that's the world I live in outside of comedy too. Is like I know how to speak to brands and like get sponsorships and like corporate bullshit. So. He forced me to play the white guy card so many times. Also, any small win I have, he's like, white. You're white and tall. Like he takes it away from
He's
me.
like,
that's also
that must
true.
be it.
That's true. That hey guys,
Okay, did this for us, but
can we stand? We don't have the camera for that.
What, you want to stand up in here?
I just want you to see how tall he is.
He wants to prove that he's
like
5'9".
6'4". Like,
So he's like, so because you're tall now,
you piece of shit.
because you're tall, it all works out.
Yeah, I'm tall and I'm white, and he thinks anything that happens good to me or us is because I'm tall
Because
and white.
as you and I both know, right now is the time where everyone really values the white man.
we
We are getting the most respect currently.
It's our time to shine. We are not public enemy number one.
Everyone is always ready to hear our opinions right now.
Hey, guys,
You know what else
it's
is worse?
One black guy and two white guys telling me this.
We're not
want you to
telling
know
you.
that. I
You
just
can
want you
sit
to
this
know
out.
that.
Listen,
But also, okay,
let's just talk about Charlie Kirk for a little bit.
Oh no!
I want to acknowledge that we're on stolen land, but also that we are Charlie Kirk at the same time. Both are possible.
Ew.
But we're trying to figure out who the land was stolen from. It's been a couple times. I don't know who the original was anymore.
I'm sorry to my indigenous brothers and sisters that you have to listen to this.
I mean, if we're talking about this place, I think originally it was a medical building. So that's who we
Again,
took
that's
it.
the stolen land that I'm discussing. I think globally, I act locally.
Yeah. Did you ever get into Gulgul Bordello? Have you ever heard of that band? It was in that like new wave punk. It's like I don't know. I think it's some kind of Eastern European, like Russian, Ukrainian something, but I think they're New York based.
I like all of those adjectives.
And it's very like he's got a heavy accent while he's singing, but it's kind of like folky punk rock music. But their shows were incredible. They call themselves Gypsy Punks, and but they had a great T-shirt. It was think locally, fuck globally.
Yeah, I love that.
I think that's
better.
good for everybody, right?
I think we can ride
It
on
was,
that.
it was a
for-
great T-shirt I had for a
I
while.
mean, I know
don't
you
where
do it
went.
already, but
Okay.
On the world tour of
Behave
Texas.
yourself. Behave yourself.
oh, fuck off. You call me 5'9", piece of shit.
I knew that would get you.
Yeah, you know which nerve to strike.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what were we talking about? Comedy? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
What is it
Anyway,
about?
yeah. So tell me your process with your branding. No, I'm joking. What venues are you working with right now? What have been the staples?
So
You said the Latino Cultural Arts Center.
Latino Cultural Center.
Cultural Center, okay.
has been one of our biggest partners.
Is that the one right in Deep Ellum?
Yeah,
right
well,
by
yeah,
like
yeah,
Good
yeah.
Latimer.
It's the
Yes,
big
yes,
stucco
sir,
building
yes,
that's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
triangle. It's
Yes,
beautiful
yes,
right when you
yes,
get into
yes.
Deep Elm. Yeah, I
Yes.
love
It's
the
been
venue.
one of our biggest. Our original partner, I should say, is Oak Cliff Cultural Center, who is headed by Andrea Totson, who is.
Triple
I
shout
cannot
out.
say yes.
It's you can't be stated
quadruple,
enough how
yes,
great
she is. She's the boss. She is of FTC comedy, not of that, but like she is the boss. This year we started a partnership with South Dallas Cultural Center, and they are like nothing but accommodating. I love those guys. Shout out Wayne, you're the homie. She's gonna be our artist on that.
That's one of my
particular
favorite
show.
shows we've done in the last 2 years.
Yes,
They
she's
were
so
so
good.
appreciative of us. The crowd was really appreciative to get comedy at that venue. It really felt like
Yes.
a buzz. Like
Yeah.
it was awesome.
South Dallas, I think, is going to be a hidden pocket. You know, the Kesslers doing so well with their shows over there.
Yeah.
And
So we're not even close to there.
well, what I mean though is
Yeah,
just
I know what you mean.
other
Yes,
side of
yeah,
I-30.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I
Definitely.
know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
And it's just like we can both
Yeah.
get the love. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
No, I'm just saying I think there's a ton of South Dallas because, so like the small town I grew up in, we would commute 45 minutes to an hour everywhere we went.
sure.
But now that I'm in Dallas, I'm like, please don't make me go north of 635. Please don't make now a
I know what
15
you mean.
now a 15-minute commute. I'm like I'm a Dallas snob and I'm like, please, it's got to be something good. And I know that the people on the south side of Dallas think that way about the north side of Dallas. You know, it's like, am I really going to hop on 45 or 35, go over that
Do
way
I
for
need
something?
to?
You
Yeah.
know how
Do I need
spoiled
to?
you guys are.
I
had to drive
understand.
an hour to high school every single day.
I know, but I'm just saying the actual way people in the city are going to do that. If it's in their neighborhood, they're so much more likely to go do it. And South Dallas has all this opportunity for more of that.
Also, Chris, I'm sorry that your neighbor lived 2 miles away from you. That's not our problem, though. So can you just like keep it here?
I'll try my best.
Yeah, remember, you came to us, okay? You came to
That's
this
true.
city.
I did move here, but I can have
Now,
grievances.
but here's what happens, right? We all moved to the city, and then, you know, now it's like me and my wife, it's like, how do we just move somewhere like Montana? Like, you know, it's like you end up going back.
Don't do that.
No. You won't ever go back because it's home. You'll end up going like, I just want to move out to a place like Copeville, Texas.
Hey, you go ahead and you move to Montana, and you're gonna like get there in July and be like, "This is the best,
Yeah.
most beautiful place."
probably
and then
will be,
the 9 months of brutal winter will age you a decade, and you'll be back here
Yeah.
before your 12 months are
Well,
up.
I don't have it fully fleshed out yet, but the plan is going to be so wealthy that I'm only there during the summer, and then I go to my winter home
There you
somewhere
go.
else. You know,
There you
Also,
go. There you go.
As a Montanan,
It's probably
fuck
gonna be a
you.
Florida.
Don't do that either.
no, I'm gonna go like, no, I'm from Texas. I'm a cowboy. I can do this.
My family is going to beat you up.
yeah.
That's actually anybody who lives in Montana.
You
Do not
go straight
fuck
to
with
the
the
lens,
Olsons.
straight down
Yeah,
the
I gotta
barrel.
tell them, don't fuck with the Olsons.
Straight down the barrel.
They beat up people. They hard beat up people.
What are they doing up there?
I just come from a very hardy stock of people.
Are they like original? What is it, Montanan? What is, yeah.
Well, we're Swedish immigrants, and they're just all. I'm 6'3", and I'm like the smallest guy in
Yeah.
my family. They're all
Wow.
I
weighed
got
100 pounds more than me.
I just need to
big,
stop you for
strong
1 second before, because I need you to talk about something. But
Mm-hmm.
before we do this, we are speaking into existence shows at Arts in Maine. We've talked to them.
Oh, right.
And then also we are probably going to have shows at Double Wide. But now I need you to talk about your dad. And
In
that,
what
I needed to
context?
get that out first, because now you could stop watching.
Yeah, okay, plug the shows,
Yeah.
and then we pivot right to my dad
Yeah,
content.
yeah,
Okay.
So hold on, Swedish immigrants
Yeah.
to Montana directly.
Minnesota, brief stopover, and then Montana.
What generation came over? Was this like grandparents, great grandparents?
My dad's great uncle and great grandfather.
Not too far removed.
Not too far removed. And if you see them, you'll be like, yeah, that's a giant Swedish man. Yeah.
What was their purpose for coming?
Farming. I mean, that's their. I did an Ancestry DNA, and it was like, they give you a pie chart of all of the documented occupations your whole lineage has ever had.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 99.9% farmer.
Wow.
And my brother is a literal farmer and rancher, and my dad is a literal cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
And I presented that information to them like, look, like we're carrying on like whatever. And they're like, it says farmer. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I'm a fucking rancher. And they were mad at me.
What is the actual definition of rancher? What distinguishes that?
You'll have to talk to my dad.
But what does he do?
It's like more animal rearing and stuff. But
Gotcha.
they also farm crops to feed their animal. They're
but
they're
he's-
literally fucking farming.
So he's thinking, I'm farming to feed the animals. The animals are what I do. This is my thing.
Closest as an adult
Mm-hmm.
to me getting my ass kicked by my dad was presenting that information to him that
Oh.
99% farmers, like, you're one too. And he was like, like ready to beat my ass.
So yeah, so this guy, your father, he must have been really excited about you skateboarding and doing graphic design.
You know what?
Oh, let's talk about
I
that.
will say this.
Yeah.
This dude is a literal cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
The local paper wrote like a month-long insert for the Sunday.
I was going to
like,
ask his first name, but I feel like I can only call him Mr. Olson.
It's John. It's
Okay.
John with no H.
I'm not going to
He
use
doesn't
it,
have
though.
time for it.
I'm not going to use it.
No, do you want his social security number? No, just a literal cowboy, and also Taekwondo champion, arm wrestling champion, was putting up nasty city league numbers playing basketball in jeans after work. Gnarly man. But
By the way, exactly what I want you to be when you're this. Like, if you're a man living in Montana and you're
I had the
checking
best
those
dad.
boxes, it's like, hey, man, I really appreciate you living up to this, like what I hoped you might be if I drove through town and saw the real version, you know.
The your dad could beat up my dad argument, like no one brought that to my table. They were like, no, that's not happening.
Well, just the thought of like a rancher, like, yeah, also like, you know, so I hoop.
He also, to add a little depth and dimension to him, he is that guy, gnarly, insane man, masculine as can be. I was, again, a skateboarder, like, during the wearing girl jeans and, like, dyed black swoopy bangs.
Yeah.
He never cared. He was inviting me to go hunting every day. Like, that just didn't register to him. Like, he was like, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, never cared about that.
Your dad and his buddy took you fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Tell that story.
Oh, when I wanted to, I was like, I'm like... And also, I'm like, I was 5'2" when I graduated high school. I was like tiny. I was a late bloomer. But I always wanted to like hang out with these like tough cowboy guys. And I was like begging for a beer and some Copenhagen. And I finally, by the end of the day, they were like, shut up. And they gave me a hot Budweiser that had been out and half a can.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, let's shut this kid up. So they gave me a half a can of that. And then I go to drink the warm Budweiser and they won't let me stop. And so in the process, I swallow the whole can of chewing tobacco they had put in with a hot, not room temperature, a hot Budweiser heavy. And I was sick for like 2 days, like just nicotine poisoning, heat stroke. It was so bad.
Did you ever ask him about why he didn't care that you were, you know, carving such a different path than what he was doing? You ever talk to him about that?
A little bit. I always understood him very well, like, because he's also like, again, this same cowboy guy is why I like comedy, like my very earliest comedy, like stuff. He, again, literal cowboy, would work from the feedlot and then come home and like watch Saturday Night Live and quote Richard Pryor, Chris Rock, like stuff that was not made for him. He loved. Every time he'd have friends over and stuff, they were just quoting SNL. Like quoting all the movies that came out from that time, like any Chris Farley movie and stuff. Like he was very informed by, you know, pretty modern comedy. Like, you know, and so that's like the earliest influences me of like my dad retelling like SNL bits that some of his friends might not have caught or something.
Yeah.
Or like retelling stories. And I'd hear him, you know, you hear your family tell stories at gatherings and they kind of add a little sauce each time. He's working on his material, like to get a bigger laugh and stuff. I didn't put that together until I started hanging out with comedians and watching them do that. I was like, oh, my dad did that.
Well, you see it too, right? I don't know how successful they are, but there are these clubs that are opening on the very like far outskirts of DFW. You know, so like I think they were trying to get one going in Rockwall. I don't know if it's still there.
Would you call that Royce City one of those, or is that like far enough out? It's a separate thing, and that's a legit.
But I call it, so Royce City is closer to where I grew up. I call that kind of DFW still because it's just so.
I know what you're talking about.
But point being,
Jay's.
I can't remember. Somebody said it was a dedication to their
daughter. Yeah,
it's a good show,
I knew her.
I
knew her. She was a New York comic, hilarious comic. She passed away, and her family opened that up, and I love that. And I'm just gonna stop there because I'm just gonna stop there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the point I was making was just, you know, a guy like your dad's a good example. It's these little areas have just the funniest people you've ever heard of, but it has never crossed their mind of doing comedy or anything. They're just funny people.
They don't think of it as it's like a function of how they get through life more.
Yeah.
And they pull from the same things we pull from of like stand-up routines and stuff. And they, again, work material. They're telling the same stories, but like I'd hear him tell it in the morning and be like, and then a better version by the time he told it to the third
fish gets
person.
bigger, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Now imagine, you know, you were in Montana and there was an open mic that you could you know, your uncles or whoever are there with your dad, you know, y'all can get him a little tipsy and convince him, like, go up on stage, tell that story. You know, and just those little opportunities where these really funny people who they know they're funny, but they probably don't realize they could entertain a big crowd that way. You know, and I just wonder what little gems you're going to find when one of those dudes does find a stage.
He is him 100%, so I don't think he would change on stage, and he would be one of those people who's a great storyteller,
Yeah.
where he takes a morsel of truth that's outlandish, a thing that happens to him every day, and knows where the comedy is and can amplify it.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
It's also funny, stereotypes they always go both ways, right? So you hear rancher in Montana, and people just start painting that picture of who this man is.
And he is that most.
Yeah,
Sure.
if you see him,
Sure, but-
he is that guy.
but-
yeah.
Yeah, but the
I've
nuance
seen
of
so
like,
many pictures of his dad. So like, yeah,
but I think a lot of people don't want to accept, the guy's quoting Saturday Night Live to his friends also.
He also will not miss an episode of Seinfeld. He'll come home covered in cow shit, will not shower because it's on,
Hell
and
yeah.
just loves what these 4 people in New York City are doing. Mm-hmm. Like,
It's proof that we're all so much more similar.
yes.
One of my favorite like Chris things is that, and I don't know if you heard it because like he kind of rushed through like his dad's resume, but his dad was like a arm wrestling champion.
Yeah.
And I remember we did a promo for
Chuckle Rum.
for Chuckle Rum, and Chris's entire bit was because like it was me, Lily Lopez, shout out homie.
Kenny was there too.
Kenny was there too. Oh God,
Shout out Ken.
the 2 sober people were there,
Yeah.
and then it was me and Chris, and we were like,
And the rep from
the rep from Chuckle Rum.
she's not
yes.
there anymore, so shout out Libby.
Shout out Libby, yeah,
She came through that night.
yeah. So like we were like, I think it was supposed to be like 3 of us were supposed to like shoot something, and she was like, actually, we need 4 of you, and then we needed Chris to be a part because Chris doesn't like to be on camera; he likes to be behind camera. So he was on camera, and he was like, "Shit, what should I do? I'm gonna just challenge these guys to arm wrestling."
We were at a real SMU bar, and we looked
It was
at the
very
crowd. And
SMU
we
dudes.
went to do some like, quick rapid fire questions,
Yeah.
and the responses were like, "This is disgusting and not on brand," because it's SMU bros being like.
So
whatever.
Chris started challenging into arm wrestling contests, and if they won, they would get a shot of Chuckle Rum or something to that effect.
Loser takes one or winner takes one,
something
whatever
to that
it
effect.
was.
Yeah. And it's just Chris, like pretend like we're doing arm wrestling right now, you and I, and he's just like staring them in the eye and is just like putting them.
Well,
down.
I
Putting them
did.
down.
I
He
did
didn't
one.
Flinch. He didn't flinch.
I
He
did-
just like put him down. Put him down.
I
Put him
did
down.
one. I did one, and we're like, the guy's a good sport, and we do like an interlocking, like homoerotic sip to it.
Yeah.
We're having fun, but then I look up, and it's a single file line of.
Guys like, I'll
Dead
fucking
serious college
get you,
students.
bro. I'm gonna beat you. And
So
it's
I
just
had to do a line of like 15 dudes of
and
like,
he like
my turn.
It's
So you-
just
so you
it's just
picked-
that. It's just that.
So you picked up some of the arm wrestling genetics, huh?
It's strictly genetics. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've only been beat by 3 people, and my dad and brother are one, and then like a New Jersey power lifter beat me once at a wedding. That's it.
and
I've
also,
seen it-
also, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is this not included in like what we actually shot? But there's a lot of me just like being next to the ear of a guy, being like, "Bitch, you're about to die!" Like just yelling in the guy's ear, like, "You're about to die."
But we're taking shots. We get like pretty much blackout drunk, and I think we're never doing anything
Yeah.
with Chuckle Rum again. I look at the footage the next day, and Libby, this little pretty beautiful girl, at one point, like I think Paulos is manning the camera. I beat somebody, and then we look for her, and she beats a guy immediately, and is like also blackout drunk, going like "fuck you, dude," like just sunned a way bigger dude. And I was like, okay, I think we can
Sunned
work
him.
together. I was like, I think we can work together after that.
Have you ever seen anyone break their arm in person?
Oh, one of the last times I saw my dad do it in person, I was
Yeah.
like 5, and yeah, full on. So he would arm wrestle at light
wild,
heavyweight
right?
for his weight, but then he would also wrestle at heavyweight, and he broke this big ass dude's arm. Just
I've seen them break the actual, like the upper arm.
yeah,
And you're just thinking, how, and you just that force. And it's like, was it just? Did your elbow sit weird or something? How? And you're just like, you can't be that strong to just.
you can,
And you just hear that little, that just, it's not little, it's a loud, just
yeah, very loud
know.
thud.
yeah. But I never decided, is that a cool story that like I broke my arm?
No, it was insanely traumatic. I mean, for me, it was insanely traumatic. And
No, I mean, if you're the
think
person
my
whose
mom
arm-
shut it down.
If you're the person whose arm broke, is that still pretty manly that you broke your arm wrestling?
I think so, because
You
it
know?
is like, it doesn't come from getting beaten so bad. It comes from like a stalemate
Yeah.
situation that then
Yeah.
something's got.
Neither of us were giving.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna
physics
be
won.
honest. There was a guy I think he was like the second or third guy. He was a really mouthy SMU. Like he was young dude. I was like, I hope he breaks his arm. But like he beat him so quick, I was like, there's no way you're gonna break his arm. Like he just like
they
you know
those
what I'm talking
kids
about,
did
right?
not know what they were getting into.
But he was just like, fuck this.
Were they
guy.
having a good time losing though? Like were they buying into
Some
it?
were really fun
Some
and
were.
would do the shot
Yes,
and it would be
some
like,
were.
oh, dude, like, because I'm like kind of a sleeper. I don't think they looked at me.
Yeah.
And
I would not have thought arm wrestler.
I think that's why the line got so long. Is like, oh, I'll fucking beat this dude.
I just remember I was like taking the video and like the guy was talking so much like shit to him, and Chris does this at which we cut from the video, but Chris goes. He just like looked over at me like, I'm about to punish this kid, and I was like, all right, hey, do it.
Well, at least some of them were having a good time with it.
No,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was so much fun.
Yeah,
It was a great way to promote Chuckle Rum.
Because if I was at a bar and then all of a sudden it turned into a rum promotion where people are randomly armed, to me, I'm going home going, what a fun night.
Yes.
Like that was just so unexpected.
Yeah.
That's what I want out of a night out at the bar.
Thursday or something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. You go back to work Friday, but you never guess what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell me more about Mr. Olson. I still can't say
I'm
that.
trying to think. So that arm wrestling related, I have one last little tidbit.
Yeah.
He got into some trouble when he was like 18 or 19. I was looking up. I told you he did like they did a long like basically magazine about how real cowboys still exist, and it was about my dad. They followed him for a month. We have glossy versions at home up in Montana, but I wanted it for something to show somebody, and so I got an archive thing for my local newspaper to find it. And so I search his name to find it, and it comes up, but then I'm like, there's a lot of listings in here. And so it's a lot of like criminal record of like just normal hillbilly bullshit, like fighting at bars and stuff. He was 20. He was 20. His buddy was 16. His male buddy was 16. And then I think both the girls were like 22 or 23, a little older. They all just were close to Canada. So they'd go up to Canada. If they couldn't buy beer here, they'd be like, I'm just going to run up to Canada and buy it. One of the girls, who was very much an adult, is a sheriff's daughter. And so he got charged with like kidnapping.
Oh my God.
But then in the article, you can even like the judge's quote was like, yes, I understand that, but like these guys are younger than the girls. Like it's not whatever. So the judge's punishment was, I recommend you, Mr. Olson, stay away from alcohol serving establishments for at least 2 weeks. And I'm like, what a light punishment. I scroll down 3 days later, champion in the Bud Light arm wrestling champion. I'm like, you got the softest punishment. You couldn't listen because you could go win an arm wrestling tournament. Like, in what world?
Oh, come on. In America, man.
Yeah,
that's exactly why his
Jesus
Swedish
Christ.
ancestors
I'm the
came over
best
here was for
For
freedom.
that
Freedom.
Nothing's ever going to keep you down.
Just
also-
slamming Bud Heavies and breaking arms.
If I'm ranching in Montana, and I get off on that, I'm not thinking I'm going to take it easy. I'm thinking, all right, it's all working out.
He lived a great life.
Because they were essentially
He's still
trying to,
alive.
No, I know, but he's not. His life is not as fun now.
but they were essentially trying to charge him with trafficking across international borders.
But it was like
But
the
he's the younger.
yeah.
I know.
He's the one who's being trafficked.
It's because it was
like,
he had already had problems with that sheriff.
Yeah, okay.
And the judge, I wish I remember the exact paragraph from the judge because it was really like a. All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Like
You
we
know-
get what happened here. Like,
Can I?
don't
just-
go to
It also-
bars for
it also-
2 weeks.
It sounds
Can I
like
do
a
it?
judge from the area who
of
probably
course.
was like, who's bringing this to
He's
me?
probably seen Mr. John Olson several times.
Yeah.
He
Can I
knows.
tell you like a funny like just juxtaposition is like my dad is not from America.
Not a rancher.
No, not at all. not even close.
Where's he from?
From East Africa. It's a small country nobody knows about. It's called Eritrea.
Thank you.
Or how do you pronounce it?
Eritrea.
Yeah, there you go. But I remember like when me and Chris like first started becoming buddies or whatever, I was like telling him about my dad or whatever, and he's just like, man, your dad has like this interesting story. And then he started telling me about his dad, and I was like, shut the fuck up, dude. Your dad has like the actual funny.
If you're
and
into like
interesting
high
story.
octane white trash, he's
Whoa,
like the
no.
king. Yeah.
Listen, you're always interested by the opposed of your upbringing.
yeah,
right?
that's true.
His
I'm
dad
like,
is
your
like
dad
a
was
legit-
a lawyer. That's so cool.
if you're from a small town and you think about like a fucking that's his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like my dad has like a migrant story that many people have, which interesting, by the way. I'm not trying to like talk shit about my dad, but like your dad is hilarious. Like his story is hilarious. Like my dad has like a lot of people have had this story. Like,
Well, what do you mean though? What is his story?
He was like a refugee. Well, he was a lawyer in East Africa.
Listen. He goes, everybody's got this story. He was a refugee.
Yeah, he bigs up an arm wrestling fucking yokel, and then he's like, yeah, he just came over. He was a lawyer, and he like started this whole family over here, like against all odds. That's the better story.
Is the country he's from English speaking country?
No. It's East Africa. But I mean,
well, I don't know. I don't know enough about.
English is a language. My dad was like a civil rights lawyer, and I'm not.
So did he learn English there or here?
Yeah,
there.
Back home. Yeah,
okay.
Better story.
And he had to move to America because like his government was trying to kill him. Mm-hmm. Which again, I get why you say that's a better story. But your dad, has a funnier story.
Chestnut.
But your dad has a funnier story though. Like,
yeah.
I mean, fleeing a war-torn country is not funny, but it is interesting.
It's also badass on the same level. The government never tried to kill my dad. They said, hey, don't go to a bar for 2 weeks. And then he did anyway, and they were like, well, good luck at the tournament.
Well, when did he decide to leave?
My dad left.
Like, how old was he?
He was in his mid-30s. He moved to Italy. That's where he found my mom. My mom was in Italy. And they, depending on who you ask, 6 weeks or 6 months later, they got married.
Is she an Italian woman?
My mom is Italian. She's a black Italian woman, which is normal because of the part of East Africa that my family's from. There's a lot of black Italians. And depending on who you ask, like my dad says 6 weeks, my mom says no, it was 6 months, and I'm like, still, both of you, that's too short. And then they had my sister, and right before she was born, they moved to America.
Where did they start in America?
St. Louis. Well, New York.
Yeah,
and then St. Louis, and then they had my sister. Then they had me. Then we moved to Texas.
When they met in Italy, were they living in Italy or were they living in Africa?
Dude, I just recently found this, and you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna blow my whole life up. My parents have wedding pictures of them in Italy, and I've always believed that my parents were wed. They're not. They took fake ass pictures of them being married, and I should have known better because my dad was wearing a polo, and I was like, who wears a polo to get married?
Also,
it's
when
Italian.
it comes to marriage, like, is it really the government documents that make you married, or is it the photos and the ceremony?
That is, that's
my wife would say it's the government documents.
Yeah. Not my parents, because like I found out last year that my parents do not have anything because they never actually got married. They went to a park in Italy with their closest friends, took a bunch of pictures, and were like, we're married now.
Have you ever asked them why they...
No, because I found this out last year.
No, not about the marriage.
Oh, sorry.
What's more shocking to me than that is, have you ever asked them, like, so Italy, you were just like, hey, let's get the hell out of here and go to St. Louis.
I can tell you this.
Why from Italy to St. Louis?
So my dad is a whore. That's just true. It's true. Dad, if you're watching
lighting
this,
all sorts of bridges.
No.
Also thinks his dad is less badass than mine, being a whore. Pretty sick.
My dad was a lawyer. He was a civil rights lawyer. He was about to get murdered in his own country. So my grandfather just gave him a bunch of money. He was like, get the fuck out of here. So my dad globetrotted for years and was just a whore. I remember... I don't know if you guys, we've talked about this that first time that you have a drink with your dad. I don't know if yours was as traumatizing as mine was, because my dad was like, my dad has never been my friend. My dad was always my authoritative figure. And he was like, I'm going to tell you some truth. I was a fucking whore, my guy. And I was like, ugh, I thought you were going to be like, this is the secret to life. But no. My dad was just like, yo, I had to globetrot because I was going to get murdered in my country and then like blah, blah, blah. And then he finally was like hanging out one time and got a call from a good friend of his. And she was like, hey, come to Italy. I want to introduce you to this girl, my mom. And he moved there and was like, I'm in love.
So he went to Italy for a blind date?
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then, depending on who you ask, and I believe my mom, but I still am like, that's still so negligent. Like, my dad says, like, 6 weeks into it, we got married. And she's like, well, 6 months. And that's every time they talk about this to anybody, and he's just like, and then 6 weeks later, she's like, six months. And I'm like, I don't care who's right here. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not.
You're splitting hairs there.
Yeah, at that point, like,
But still, think about going to another country for a blind date, and all the people who are like, I don't want to, like me. It's like, I'm not going to go to Richardson,
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey!
My limit is small.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
My radius is
Well,
tiny.
you've also been married. I would not do that for the first time for anybody. Like,
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
yeah.
But why St. Louis?
Oh, they didn't move. They first moved to New York.
Yeah.
Because so my dad was going to be murdered by his government. So he was entered as a refugee. And when you first come in, you come into New York. And like, I think my dad and my mom wanted to live in New York, but we already had family in St. Louis. So they moved to St. Louis because of that.
Oh, I got you.
And then we had family in Texas. So they had my sister. My cousin moved in with us. And then I was born, and they were like, we have to move to Texas. And then, again, depending on who you ask, it was like 3 or 6 months later, I moved to Texas.
Timelines are
Yeah.
messed up. I'd like to really quickly address that. You think my dad is so badass, but political refugee getting murdered from the government, he flees. What does he do? Have a hoe phase across Europe. That's badass. On the run from murderous people, he's like, well, what am I going to do? That's sick.
And we're dancing around the obvious, but we need to get these two men together.
Oh, I think that.
And that's a TV show where you just kind of send them out into places and just don't even give them. Just go like, hey, we're gonna take you to Terry Black's.
It's
and
that
just let them
gif of like a really two sweaty arms.
Yeah,
like,
and just see what conversation comes up to these two men who kind of carved their own paths in very different ways.
Set them at a bar. No premise.
Let it go.
Let them rip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call that show.
Hey, you
Back
lived in
and
New
Need
York,
Problems.
and he likes Seinfeld. Go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all. Like older men, I feel like that's all the small connection they need to just then be like, all right, we're buddies, and we get coffee all the time.
It'll start with like, so did you ever go to the deli that they were always, the diner they were always at? Did you ever go there? And then it'll boom. Before you know it, it'll be like, yeah. So when I fled the country, right?
When they get to hoe phase, I think they'll then have another like real moment.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, so I was sneaking women into Canada.
He's like, hoe phase and crossing international borders, brother. We are the same.
My dad legit. So once I was able to drink, I would go hang out with my dad at his bar, and he was just like, have you ever been with an Arabic woman? And I was like, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear this. The rest.
If
of
this was coming from anyone else, I would be interested in hearing it.
My dad spent a lot of time in Egypt, and I was like, I don't care to hear the rest of that part. My sister will watch this, and she's going to be like, why did you put that in my brain? Because you put that in my brain.
We could put them together, and they could be our first real independent political party.
I think they could solve a lot.
Because a Swiss Montanan, and then a Swede Montanan, and then we have a.
We also have a Swiss. If you want to bring the Swiss in,
well, what I mean though is, nobody. Right when you started to throw like stereotypes or racism into the mix, they're so opposite that we can't do it.
Well,
it's
that's
not
the
gonna
thing.
work.
It would have to have zero premise, except for these two men are sat next to each other.
Yeah.
Go on.
They got some ideas.
And then we just observe.
I felt like now that we brought that up, we got to shout out Christine Berger. She does all of our. She
does all the artists.
Swiss curates all the art for us. I just need to shout that out. But sorry,
huge part of what we do at FCC.
Very much. Yes.
We have we love and appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I think we've about covered it. What do you want to plug? Do you have some shows coming up here? Anything on the calendar yet? This will be out in like a week.
We're putting dates together.
Yes.
What's the best place to find them?
The next show that we have coming up is going to be at South Dallas Cultural Center. It's going to be February 20th, we have Byron Stamps as the headliner. Amazing,
So
amazing.
good. I just got
amazing
turned on to
comic.
him, and I was not prepared for how good he is.
You know Byron.
I think so. I got to see the face.
Dude,
Yo.
I recognize
you need
the
to have
name.
Byron on.
Yo.
Byron is
Slept on
insanely
talent.
funny. Yes.
Okay.
Crazy.
We have Taylor P. She's featuring, and we have Deontay Hobson. He's opening. He's a newer comic. So we also run a weekly open mic that we're both not at right now because we're doing this. It's happening tonight. Deontay Hobson, that's how I met him, was at that open mic. And I was like, he went up enough times, and I was like, hey, man, would you like to be a featured performer? So we run an open mic at Dallas Side Billiards, and I asked him if he wanted to be a featured performer because we pay the featured performers. And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, hey, man, you're good enough, because the featured performers do like 10 minutes. And I was like, you're good enough. I think I want you to do a show of mine. It's like 12 minutes as an opener. And he's going to be doing that. So that's our February 20th show at South Dallas Cultural Center. We don't have all the graphics for it, but it should be like, I don't know, like $5 to $8, something around that range.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a cool show. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, just FTC on Instagram.
Yeah,
That's where it
FTC
is.
underscore comedy. FTC
That's
underscore comedy.
where all of our information goes out. One last shout out is we produced a hour for our buddy Justin James, one of
Yes.
the local legends who moved out to LA and apparently got even better. He came back home and we got to produce a full hour for him.
Where did he
And
release it?
It's on Patreon right now, but it's been up for a while, so we're going to convince him to release it soon, free to everybody on our YouTube, and everybody has to see it. It's
On For the City's YouTube?
yeah,
Okay.
it's unbelievably good special. And again, we didn't have 2 shows to film it. It was like one
No
take.
edits.
Didn't cut a single thing out, no stalls, no ums and ahs. He sings, he writes original songs during it. I'm so insanely proud of that man and what we were able to do to produce that special. So once it's out for everybody publicly, I'd really like everyone to check it out. So that'll, again,
But
follow
right now,
our Instagram.
but if they want to pay right now, it's on his Patreon?
Yes.
It's a link in our bio too, I believe.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
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 Just
put,
go on our
put a couple
bio,
bucks in his
yeah.
pocket, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
FTC underscore comedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, guys. This
Dude,
was really
thank
fun.
you
getting
so
to-
Bro,
much.
this was
Thank you so
fun,
much
yeah.
for having us.
All
man.
right.
The I'm a Fan of podcast, music, comedy, and more.